right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Neutral, where we discuss all things Street Fighter and CPT. And first off, before we get started, I just want to give a big shout out to all of our fans in Japan and, of course, Team No Motion and Nanai for helping bring No Motion to the Japanese audience. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it as always. So, before we get into the NA East Top 8, which is by far the most anticipated top 8 for me, besides maybe a couple here and there, but one of the most anticipated top 8s. Let's take a look back at the China CPT 2021 event and look at one of the most exciting matches that went down to the wire. That match, of course, is Xiaohai versus Vx Bao, and I cannot believe how close this match was between two of the most established Chinese players. I mean, Xiaohai, he's a national treasure as far as I'm concerned. He is by far the most established Chinese player beyond just Street Fighter. I mean, fighting game franchise, of course, King of Fighters, you name it. That guy has been representing China for a long time in the community. And Vx Bao, who was one of the most dominant players in 2020, really burst onto the scene and did a lot of work in the 2020 season. These guys, I think, were the favorites to win. That didn't happen this weekend, but of course, when they went down, it was a match to look out for. And I gotta say, you know, the strategy that I liked that Xiaohai represented, I love the strategy until it didn't work. Xiaohai was doing his usual strategy of confirms and offense. This guy has been known for confirms before confirms were really like even a thing. I feel like the first time I heard about what a confirm is and I knew about reaction-based players, it was Xiaohai. That's what you heard about in Street Fighter 4. I mean, the other players in that conversation were like Pierre Balrog. He didn't have confirms because that's not how the character worked, but it was like the reactions. Seeing someone do something and reacting with a super or an ultra. Xiaohai was the guy. And also the confirms are what I think sets him apart. Like those low forward confirms, he had many instances where like it was one hit away from stun and then he clips him standing up, Vx Bao standing up, confirmed to the DP, you know, not just the drill. Both are unsafe, but I feel like there's a little bit extra confidence when you see that confirm low forward to DP.
It's not too surprising to see that they had such a tight set here. And, you know, overall, as far as the actual character matchup, I'm not exactly, I don't know, who do you think has the advantage in that matchup, if you had to say?
I think this is one of the matchups where Urians don't enjoy it that much, but I don't know. It's tough to trust.
It's something about the Chinese Urians, bro. It's something about the Chinese Urians. They play it so good. They
do. I mean, because Xiaohai was jumping. He was definitely jumping at Vx Bao, but he allowed the jump to occur and handled the situation post-jump extremely well. Like, one of the great things about Vx Bao in this matchup was when Cammy is pressuring you and when she's hitting you with like those standing light kicks or checking you with those medium punches, she's setting up a situation where she's plus, but generally she's not tick throw range. She's not so close that she cannot throw you without walking first, right? So there becomes a mind game there. Is she going to sprinkle in more pressure with normals here and try to get a confirm? Or is she going to use the frame advantage and scare you to not press any buttons and walk forward, dash forward, get in your face again for a throw, or to reset the situation and go for more pressure, right? That's the basic Street Fighter V mind game for all characters, but Cammy does that to another level, and on top of that can then, instead of dashing at all, it can just hold up forward and rinse and repeat, right? Vx Bao showed that he was not scared to press buttons on plus frames because he understood that even if you hit me with a light kick, what are you going to do after that? You have to make a commitment to either then sit still and then go for another frame trap or to move forward. And Vx Bao understood that if I mix in buttons on negative frames, that eliminates the option of you walking up to throw me to get that damage and forces you to do other things. So sitting there and blocking is not the best decision every single time. And Vx Bao understood that, and the risk reward is great for Urian because the damage he gets and the situation he gets is so much more rewarding than just blocking that situation.
You know, Brian, I would argue that I don't think that the risk reward is good or bad for Urian. I don't think that specifically. I think it's like, you know, it comes. I guess my whole point that I'm trying to get at is that as soon as people see something like breakdown, of course I know with you I actually had a character matchup, but as far as players in general, like, you can play the player and then the characters don't matter as much. If he is reading whether Xiaohai was using Cammy, Karen, any type of turn stealing walk up character, he is reading that person is going to walk up in those spots. And he's decided that's the strategy that he's going to go with. And that's why Vx Bao was able to beat Xiaohai, is because of how strong his reads were. Because I would argue that Xiaohai is more fundamentally sound than Vx Bao in almost anyone.
Yeah, I guess I would. He's cleaner, right? He plays in that like traditional, like the old school mindset of this is how you're supposed to play, which I always think is a farce. Anyways, look back at old school gameplay. They're playing grimy and dirty all day, right?
Dirty taquito, bro.
Right, of course. But there is like a Street Fighter 4 centered mindset of like this is how you're supposed to play all fighting games that existed for a long time, because it worked in that game really well, which is extremely clean, very risk adverse, right? And that's what Xiaohai excels at. And you can also see that on the defensive side of things for Xiaohai, which is where I think the reads come into play, like you mentioned. When Xiaohai was on the defensive, this guy did not tech. He did not tech. I want to bring up one sequence. It was when they were both tied 1-1 in the set. Vx Bao back threw Xiaohai into the corner. He went for a shimmy. Xiaohai didn't bite. Crouching Fierce, EX knee drop, more plus frames, right? Point blank. He went for another shimmy. Xiaohai didn't bite. Crouching Fierce, EX knee drop, plus frames in the corner. Rinse and repeat. This time he goes for a shimmy. Xiaohai still didn't bite, still hasn't pressed the button. He walks up throw, gets the throw. Walks up throw, walks up throw, walks up throw. 4 throws in a row all land. He goes for the 5th one, he just slightly mistimed it. And at that point, finally, Xiaohai pressed the button to say, hey, whoa, back up. Because those throw situations, for people who don't understand it, it's a very tight window. So you don't have much time to react if Urian's going to walk back into your range and throw you. But it is not airtight, meaning if you wake up pressing a fast button, you will interrupt him. But if Urian instead throws you, then it just presses a meaty, you'll get counter hit. So it's kind of a guessing situation. You have to read the offensive pattern. You don't have much time to react to the movement option. Vx Bao was like, wow, you're really just not going to tech. You're really going to not challenge me on my walk-up throw situation. And he took full advantage of that. I had not seen those kind of throw loops since like Season 4 Karen, right?
That's
like
a Season 2 type, yeah.
Season 2
okay,
type,
how do you... So you brought up the fact that, of course, like, you know, he took all of those EX knees in a row. However, we also earlier brought up the fact that Xiaohai's anti-air game is one of the best that we've ever seen. So how do you interpret that?
He wasn't ready for it. So the EX knees definitely came into play. I don't think I saw a single EX knee anti-air this set. I think the way he snuck them in were from like awkward cancels, because, okay, crouching fierce to EX knee. Usually from a crouching fierce in the corner, when they go for the shimmy attempt, you think EX fireball, right? And then you think the mind game, how long is he going to charge it? Or is he just going to immediately release it or kind of hang there? And maybe do I try to interrupt, or does he get crazy plus frames? You know, usually there's like, that's the mind game that the mini game in that scenario that you're waiting for. No. This guy just immediate EX knees. And the thing is,
I think his mental stack's overloaded, bro.
It's overloaded because, and also the risk reward on, if you're overloaded in that reaction scenario and you mess up against EX knee, that is the worst move in the game to mess up against, because you just explode and you feel dumb. I think that is the most demoralizing thing to get hit by, because it's like, if you were actually ready for it and if you just did what you knew you were supposed to do, you would have cleanly anti-aired it and maybe side swapped, whatever, like gotten out of the corner. But then when you mess up, you lose about 75% of your health and 100% of your mental health, right? It just goes out the window. It feels bad. And so Xiaohai, he didn't even attempt to anti-air those. It wasn't just that situation. There was other situations too where he was able to rinse and repeat these plus frames and get in over and over.
Yeah, and no matter how good you are, if someone's going to be able to be all in your face to that point, then eventually you have to crack, even if you don't want to tech. Amazing play from both players. But, of course, Vx Bao was able to get the W in what must have been the match of the tournament for my boy. Okay, so we've all saw the video by now. A little while ago, we had a certain video, Brian, called Is EU Free? And some people were all, you know, they enjoyed the video. They actually watched it. And look, whatever I said in the video, I stand on it. I'm not backtracking nothing, because I mean, there was nothing even to backtrack. But with that being the case, I am equal opportunity. We here at No Neutral judge ourselves just as hard as we judge anybody else, and make the same clickbait titles for this as well. Is NA soft? In my opinion, is a resounding yes. Is this even a question? America is, this is the part that I at least want to start with, right? And I'm sure this can go in plenty of different directions with me and Brian. But out of every region that has any type of a significant Street Fighter V scene, America cares about clout, cares about, you know, engagement and things of that nature more than any other serious Street Fighter region. And it's actually extremely detrimental to our scene as a whole. People feel themselves so quickly in the FGC. It's really ironic because I'm sure, I mean, we've gotten comments like that, Brian. There's people who have literally taken me the wrong way because of old Hollywood and all this type of stuff like that, and act like that I'm really some, you know, bougie type of over the top, or like you are some type of, you know, the same thing, when really the most ironic thing is players who aren't doing as much, who aren't as strong, who aren't winning the same tournaments or placing the same, who don't have the same numbers, are actually the most cocky people in this entire country, and that's a fact. I've seen it time and time again. America, North America, especially United States, is soft. Very.
The one thing I have to counter here, I don't think anything you said was inaccurate, but I think it's not an American exclusive problem. What you described, it exists in Europe, it exists in Japan. Now, just because we don't speak, you know, we don't speak Japanese, we're not as in tune with the scenes. You have seen character specialists from all of these regions. Now, do we have the scrub quote-esque mentality of like, oh, I only lost because I picked this character, but I'm always going to pick this character, and I'm going to do that subconsciously.
That's different at that point.
My loss.
That's different at that point.
We can't assume it. We can't assume. That's the thing. We can see. We only know what we see, right? So,
bro,
I'm
you
just
mean
gonna
to
go
tell
ahead
me
on
you think
record
that these dudes
that
are...
exists everywhere? It exists
Come
everywhere.
on, bro. You
Look,
think in Japan,
I've had
these
instances
dudes are
like that.
losing?
Yeah, I think
saying,
so.
it's because my character trash and they keep playing it for years.
100%. I feel like there's this problem that we do. We assume that other regions and other cultures are so much more like respectful.
I'm talking
and always...
about notable players, bro.
Notable?
I'm
Who's
talking
notable?
about notable players in Japan.
Notable?
I'm saying, you think there's notable and people with any type of a name in Japan, like at least 2,000
I think the players you're
minimum.
discussing are not notable. It's notable is relative, maybe.
Well,
maybe we know about them.
Listen, don't get me twisted. If I say names and stuff like that, then that's wrong. That's just bad. That's in bad taste.
Sure, I understand.
I can't. But no, there are notable players over here who do that for sure.
I mean, notable to me means it's relative, right? So I guess it's going to depend on who notable to who. Just because we know them or like we go to tournaments with them does not mean they're notable in the entire world of Street Fighter, right? They're not. Are they winning CPT events?
Come on, bro. Bro, you've been notable for a long. It ain't like you specifically won. I've just won my first CPT event. I've been notable, a notable player before that. Shine is notable. Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean. I don't want to. If we're gonna have the conversation, bro. Listen, the viewers want us to really have a conversation. I'm not trying to do like the semantics game, bro. You know what I'm talking about. America is very...
Right. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying I don't think it's just America. I stand by that. I think that this is a universal problem. People like to pigeonhole their mindsets and look for excuses and stuff like that. I think that's... Yeah. It does exist. You're 100% factual. I mean, this is something that I picked up on years ago. Years ago, coming up into the scene, starting to go to tournaments, you would always see those characters... Like, I'm talking about people as their character. Like, they would be in events, they'd be talking like, my character is so bad, yada yada this and that, and it would get to the point where I'm like, I'm sick of hearing you talk about how bad your character is. Just drop them. Just stop. It's not even fun and jokey anymore. It's just like your entire personality is being miserable about how bad you have it, but you can just boop. There you go. You're playing top tier now. It's that easy. You know, just click over a few character slots to the right. And then there you have the selection of
it's not just the low tier
character,
low tier players, bro. That's an example I brought up.
Right.
But I'm just talking about as a whole. You know what I mean? As a
but
whole,
you think people are too concerned in NA with complaining or
I've seen people
practicing and getting better?
Exactly. I've seen people play in tournaments, like in offline CPT events, and be in damn Twitch chat, like right during the match, like right before the match about to start, typing something in Twitch chat, or as soon as somebody lose in America, like, you know, people always gotta like go and make it a long in-depth Twitter. It's like, and if people God forbid people are streaming, it's as if people feel like they need to explain away the loss, like they think that because people are watching and judging them. So the winning is not about them, if that makes sense. It's not like not enough people are genuinely trying to win for themselves in our scene, you know, and it's really whack. It's disgusting, you know. And I do not. I think when we look at the pure gameplay, the depth of talent that Japan has versus us, I mean, the guidelines to the success are the same, bro, in almost every avenue. And when it comes to Street Fighter, you know, it definitely applies there too. So there's clearly a reason why they're a more talent-dense region than us.
Right. Well, I think there's a few other things besides that too. You know, we always come back to it. I think infrastructure. I really do feel like that it really affects us a lot. It's gotten better with Street Fighter V, but we don't have, you know, you're not down the street from me. I can't go to a LAN center and have like the top 20 players in my region all right there and just run sets all day. And we don't have the same schedules. We have other things going on with our lives, right? So I feel like there's a big issue of not being able to train together as much. And then also on top of that, people don't take it as seriously. You know, people are not rigorous with what they're doing.
Okay, but to say that, this is the thing though, if you say that, right? And I agree with you actually 100% that people aren't that serious. They don't know that.
They don't know it?
They don't know that.
They think they're serious?
They're putting in 2 million hours a week on Street Fighter V though, bro. They're putting in which continue to do so, please. But I'm just saying, they don't know that, and that's why they complain when they lose. That's why they, you know, all of these different weird things.
There's definitely other ways to go about it.
But not just there's other ways. So it comes down to mentality though, bro.
Sure.
No matter who you can train with, it's mentality. There's way more people in North America who give a damn about being able to random somebody out in the first or two, or I don't care, even just beat them clean, I don't care what you want to call it. Just win the first or two, and they could get smashed in a tournament, and they're happy, and they feel like they did something, and they're gonna go post on Twitter about it and stuff like that.
Because I think when you're newer and you're new in the scene, that's a very easy thing to fall into, and it's okay to celebrate here and there, right? But at a certain point, you need to keep raising the bar for yourself and keep raising your expectations forever and ever. And at a certain point, it becomes, I need to win forever, and the job's not done until it's then. If you take incremental steps, that's fine. But I think what you're saying is there's players who should have graduated and taken this more seriously
I'm not talking about intermediate players,
and they're still celebrating. They're still celebrating the constellation prizes when they should have graduated a long time ago. And I agree. Like I can't do that anymore, right? Like I've won tournament matches against notable players, and people will be like, "Oh, that's so good, that's so great, whatever." And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not done with my pools yet. You know, it doesn't matter. Like this win is irrelevant if I don't get those points. If I don't get to that next level. The people who
aren't there aren't relevant to the conversation to me. Not that they're not relevant to our scene, but when we say it's NA soft, to me that directly implies the serious players.
Sure.
I talked about EU and stuff. You know, I didn't say nothing bad about EU, but I got to give America the same thing. America's soft, bro.
I can buy it. I can see what you're getting at. I will defend America and say it's not just an American-only problem. I stand by that. We got to deal with our own, right? That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
We got to deal with our own. So it's a universal thing, and I think our scene might be suffering from it maybe a little bit more than others. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's very difficult mentally to accept things, right? To be able to handle a loss and be able to just digest it, even in the face of unfair circumstances. But yeah, maybe NA needs to step it up mentally. Maybe there should be less tweeting after an L, and we got to learn how to handle the lag salts. That's for sure. That's something we all got to step it up in. So you know, this top 8, half of them got to be in losers. The moment you go to any top 8, half of that bracket has already gotten their one mulligan. You know, they got their one L that they took, and they got one more shot to claim the whole tournament. And there's a lot that goes on mentally with that. How do you go into a bracket? So you go Saturday, you qualify to the top 8, you're in loser side. The next day, you're coming in fresh. You got to play at least, how many sets is that? Like 5 sets, 6 sets to win the whole event. That's a long path to go through, and then you cannot afford a single set dropped. And mentally, that's taxing. And the numbers don't lie. I mean, that's a difficult position to be in to win from. But like, how do you handle that mentally, and how do you go prepare for that, and how do you deal with it in the moment? It's kind of the question here.
So actually, for me, I think that, of course, as you said, the numbers support it. It's harder to win a tournament from loser side, and that's to me just because of the sheer volume of matches you have to play. Numerically, just more matches played means there's a higher chance that you might run into somebody who's going to beat you. However, I actually find it easier to fight people on loser side than winner side. And the reason is that there's more, when there's stakes, it's kind of like playing someone in ranked or casuals or something like that versus playing for a significant amount of money, or playing for just a huge opportunity like these guys are doing here going into Capcom Cup. When people say like when you get like a lot of money, like the truth of like you're more of who you are, I think when you're playing for a lot of money or when you're playing for big situations, the same thing can be said. You can feel someone's fear, and that fear is just more likely to rear its head in losers than it is in winners when they no longer have that buffer. It's like fighting someone and you both are on the edge of a cliff. But if I'm the one that's not scared to die, we fighting near the edge of a cliff, but I'm not scared to die, and my opponent is scared to die, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna be the one that has better reactions and more fluid and thinking more clearly. So I have a better chance of survival and winning that fight. The same thing there. A lot of people don't like fighting near that cliff.
To me, I feel like the challenge is not necessarily the fear. What I've struggled with in losers bracket in the past is motivation. And I feel like I've talked about this with a few players. There's a lot of different concepts like the mental game, right? And one of them is motivation. And I remember I used to have this really big problem where if I went to losers, I would lose right away in losers. Or I'd be like, oh, whatever, just play the next set, whatever, just get it over with. And then I wouldn't play to the best of my ability. And I realized what was happening is motivation was tanked. And motivation is what allows you to put an effort to stay disciplined, to care about the result, and to not start deflecting away. Like your ego starts protecting you from the result and says, oh, you don't care about what's happening here. You are almost like watching yourself play from the third person. It pulls you out of the moment, and you don't have that same kind of heightened reaction and sense of responsibility for what's going on. So I think that's another big difficulty, is the motivation mindset, because you have to be able to stay in that moment and not start deflecting. It's super easy to start being like, on the down low, like you won't even notice it's happening. You'll be like, I don't care about this loss. I don't really care, like, oh, whatever, I got this far. It doesn't really matter if I win or lose. And you'll start, what happens is your reactions slow down. You start tunnel visioning. You're not as aware of what's going on the screen. And that's definitely a big trap that I think you can fall into. Like what I started doing, I'm playing online tournaments. You guys can't see me. I'll like slap myself. I'll like hype myself up. I'll be doing stuff. I can feel my motivation, my mental energy being drained. It's like, no, you got to stay at this level. You don't want to go too hype, right? Like you got to find that balance of energy. If you get too hype, I try to do some breathing techniques.
Is that only in big tournaments though? Like I've only ever experienced that if like it's not a big tournament, but like I go to losers mad early. In a tournament that I don't really care about the result all too much, as far as like it ain't.
I feel like it's worse at big tournaments, because at small tournaments, I feel like
motivation goes down more.
Oh, it can, because it's happened. I've definitely felt it before. It was a problem I recognized like a couple years ago. Like I saw this pattern I was falling into. I was like, this has to change, right? And so I just started doing stuff like that. So I think a lot of people I've talked to players about that can feel that like tunnel visioning, that just watching yourself play and you start playing sloppy, and just like it would be the opposite of what you described, like not being scared to die. I would be like, I just don't even care, so I'll just go do whatever. I'll go offensive and play too rash and whatever. So I would do the opposite, where I can get myself killed very quick.
I can imagine that. What happens is stuff gets down to winning time. That's why, like we talked about before, Brian, like the first to two versus first to three, and you brought up the fact that the game 2Ks had the stat that showed from first to twos and first to threes, the percentage of like who wins only changes by like 8% or something like that.
Right.
And people would have assumed it would have been much bigger. But that's because if it's a first to one, if there was a first to three and someone won the first game, right? And player X won the first game, people would say things like, oh, well, if this was a first to one, he would have won right there. No, that's not true, because it's not winning time. When it's not winning time, anybody can win. It's to a degree for sure. Like I said, in tournament in general, the more pressure, whatever the situation may be, the more pressure, the more. And I don't know if it's innate. I don't know if it's an innate thing that some people have, or if it's something that can be trained. I think it can be trained personally. I didn't want to lead off with this because it sounds cliche, but it's genuinely one game at a time. Right. I hate saying 100%. Cliches like that, bro.
Especially because it's a marathon. That's the other thing we haven't touched on. It is a marathon. It is. So I'm just counting like a bracket here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sets to get into grand finals, and that's potentially another 5, 6 to win, right? You got to win 2 in a row. It is a marathon, and you cannot get burned out. And that is extremely difficult. And that's also what I get with the motivation thing. You need to be able to dissect it and stay in the moment, because if you think too far into the future, you're gonna be like, okay, I gotta be this guy, then that guy, and if I win this round, then I gotta play this guy. You can start like envisioning this whole alternate reality, and then you get so caught up in this vision of where you could be rather than being in this moment of thinking about what is he going to be doing next, what is this move. You have to be, there's so much noise in your mind during these moments when you're staring down the long road of losers bracket in the top 8. And I mean, I've done that before, like the Intel Open when I qualified. I went to losers fairly early. I had to win like 19.5 sets to qualify, and that was ridiculous. But basically what I was just trying to tell myself is I wasn't even looking at the bracket really. I was just like, who is the next opponent? What do I got to do in this match? And you have to cancel that noise. I mean, it is there. I don't know if you feel the same way, but there is noise, and you got to say like, shut up.
I
this
agree.
Is what you're looking at right now.
You're actually, when you bringing up Intel, is so funny because I qualified on the second Intel, not the first one. And on the first one, I actually lost immediately in my bracket.
Same here.
Oh really? Yeah. It was like I lost so early. And I actually, now that you mentioned, I remember literally, I think I might have messaged my dad. Like, well, that's a wrap. Like I was mad at myself and everything. I was like, I played too nervous, so on and so forth. But I was speaking as if it was a wrap. Right. But after like 5 minutes or whatever, and my assault and overreaction calmed down, I was able to lock in and, like you said, focus on one game at a time. And I think I ended up winning 12 sets in a row before I lost to Punk 2-1 in the Kieran Mirror. And he goes on to qualify. But in that moment, though, it's the same stuff that you're talking about, bro. I literally was like, nope. I was like, all right, that's a wrap. And I was so furious. So you definitely got to fight against
and if you ran into that next set right with that mentality, you would have just been playing whatever. You would have just been going off, going ham, like trying to rush him down, kill him quick, like get it over with. And that'll get you killed, right? There's a difference between like being able to do the clutch decisions because you believe in it, which is I think what you initially start off with, right? Like in this moment, I can take the risky option because I believe in the read, or I'm too timid and scared because this is my last chance. So I play too reserved and I end up losing it. And it's a decision I would have made otherwise, right? That's one downside. The other downside is I don't even care. I'm going ham 24/7 because whatever. I'm just going to try to win. And, the noise is in your head and it can get you killed. So finding that sweet spot, finding that balance, it's very difficult statistically. It only happens. I wish I had the numbers pulled up. Check out the game 2K for that. It's like 10% of the time or less. Like I believe it's in the single digit range of being able to win.
Oh my
if you start top 8 in loser side, it is nigh impossible. But it is not impossible. It is not impossible. And in fact, it might be someone from this NA East top 8 starting in losers right now who might make the run of a lifetime to claw their way through losers bracket, get to that grand finals, win both sets in a row, and qualify for Capcom Cup 2021. Rob TV, I am so excited to see who is going to come out on top for this NA East CPT 2021 top 8.
Can't start the show without star.
The main event! Line it up. What a bomb! Power to the earth! See what I'm really made of.
Uh-oh. Pleased to meet you.
The honor was mine. I'll settle that. I'm shaking here. Bow down before my psycho power. run off to Mom now.
These matches are going to be even more ridiculous.
If you know anything about Street Fighter, you do not doubt the GOAT.
My man is always hitting go. You thought I was playing? Oh, you're hella dead.
The main event.
Help me out, Nadeshko.
Look how much it means to him.
Wow!
It's not over.
Are you serious? My man is reading right now. My man is reading.
It's finally time for the Capcom Pro Tour 2021, where we decide who is going to be the #1 beast of the East to join the ranks of the other World Warriors to get into the Capcom Cup. We're going to find out very, very soon. My name is Vicious, here with Ultra David, and man, we have a banger of a series for this top 8.
Yeah, we already had a sick top 16 yesterday. Today, obviously, we are moving into that top 8. We'll show you who we have. We have players, yeah, from all over the eastern seaboard of North America, but as you'll notice, clumped pretty strongly up in that New York area. So Space Boy and Punk is going to start things off for us. Space Boy in Jersey. Punk actually currently in Philadelphia, although lives primarily in Florida these days. Went back up there for better connections. This is pretty cool. Eyedrop versus Idom will take place. Again, a couple of New Yorkers. Players who know each other quite well. Then in loser's side, DR Mandrake versus END Shine. And although they don't live near each other, Mandrake says that they've been playing a lot too. And then in losers, to wrap it off in this first round, UIU Kami versus BCTSMA NYC Furby. Two players who have played as many letters as there are in Art's name. That's how many times they've played against each other in tournaments at NLBC and elsewhere. They know each other really well again. So this is going to be a set of matches with a ton of different characters, played by people who know each other well in most of these cases, and that's going to make for some really interesting and unique viewing, I think.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see some unorthodox decision-making, I feel like, because it goes beyond character to character just on that sheet of paper, then becomes a little bit personal, right, player to player. Sure. That's what we want to see. And, again, as you mentioned, it's a majority NLBC affair for the most part, with the exception of Punk and Mandrake. But you're looking at the character diversity as well. You see Sakura coming in from Space Boy. For Punk, I just listed Punk as Punk. I legit wrote on my paper for his character, it's going to be Punk. Yeah. Eyedrop with Karen, Idom with Laura. Arturo Sanchez as Dalsim, a.k.a. NYC Furby. Kami with Seth or Rashid. We might have that intel, and it might come to fruition for that matchup, and as well as Ibuki for Shine and Urian from Mandrake. So very, very well diverse.
But even on top of that, Shine played Cody yesterday.
That's true.
There was Seth from Kami yesterday. Punk, you said, is playing Punk, true. Yesterday played Vega in order to make it into the top 8, and again, has a ton of different characters that we could be using. So, right, there's a lot of versatility here. Even Space Boy, Sakura, right? But Seth is what we saw yesterday.
That is very true.
So, I mean, we don't really know how some of this is going to go, in part because of that, but I think that makes for some really, really fun, interesting matches today. It's all going to be 3 out of 5, obviously, in this top 8, and that means we're going to get to see some good stuff.
And I know we prefaced the top 16 towards the end of it with the question of who is going to make it into the winners finals.
Sure.
We kind of egged it on that it might be Punk and Idom.
Yeah.
We've kind of put it to that percentage, like at a pretty high percentage at that. But it even leads to an even greater story. Like, can Space Boy and Eyedrop be the underdogs and take down the favorites? I'm excited to see it. That's what I want to see. If that story just unravels that way and just shoots a different timeline into the losers bracket, best believe there's going to be drama that ensues.
I mean, that would be amazing, actually. I mean, either way, right? Do I want to watch upsets? Yes. Yes, I do.
We do.
But also, like, do I want to watch a rematch of two players who are two of the best in the world and have, long time and also recent history between them? Also, yes. So I feel like kind of however it goes, it's going to be a lot of cool stuff to check out. Again, that top 16 yesterday had even more players who I thought were super legit. This region is always strong. And, I mentioned those two in particular, as we have Idom and Punk, definitely two of the best on Earth. What I like about the rest of this top 8, too, is that there are players here who have been among the best in the world, surely, for a while, and also people who have been on that come-up for some time, for years in some cases, and for some others, that come-up has really happened, maybe across the pandemic, more or less, or the last kind of year and a half, is when we have seen that big trend up for them. So again, whatever happens, I think it's going to be really cool to see.
Some of those players actually existing in the realm of losers bracket, right? Arturo, again, he's been around for a very long time, but I feel like it's just like it's been back and forth. He's been teeter-tottering of achieving greatness and then setting back down and then going back to that same pedestal, right? It's been back and forth. Mandrake has always been on the cusp of being one of the greats. Kami as well. We highlighted him so many times as him being a well-traveled, seasoned vet at this point, but has never broken past the barrier of like taking down a full-on
Right. Hasn't had that big win. The only person who's beaten him so far is Punk. And that is a bummer for him, for Kami, of course. But also, you know, if you're going to only lose to Punk, I mean, you're doing pretty well, right? Everybody else, he's actually done super, super well. He's looked really strong against.
Then, of course, you have Space Boy and Eyedrop, which I love seeing, honestly, because primarily I hear talks of Space Boy and Eyedrop online, Twitter, NLBC, et cetera, et cetera. And these guys are also kind of like doubting themselves. When we talk about Eyedrop, he's always like, I still can't believe that you guys are letting me do this.
Right, yeah.
I still can't believe you guys have let me into top 8 without an invitation or for free. Like, you guys are nuts. I don't think that's the kind of attitude he really believes in, because he is a great competitor.
Come on.
He's a fantastic competitor. Same with Space Boy. I feel like Space Boy doesn't really talk to himself like that. But he's been developing that Sakura and seeing the Seth like at an exponential rate. It's been very impressive and fascinating to see. So it's going to be quite the storyline. We're going to see Space Boy going up against Punk first off. I am looking forward to seeing what the quotes are going to be going into it.
Yeah, let's check out what the players had to say right here. We're going to start off with Space Boy. He's a great player, so this should be a very exciting match. No clue who he's going to pick. Yeah, you and me both. So I'm going to have to rely on Sakura for this one. Okay.
Very solid.
Going in there with a plan.
That is a safe pick. Let's see what Punk has to say going in. Watch SFL playoffs or Week 8 and tell me what y'all see when we are offline. Man, plus the stare down that he gives, it's so intimidating.
Look at those eyes.
I tried my best to deliver it with the same energy. Punk, I hope I did you proud. He's got a statement to make, right? But he has to get through Space Boy first.
Look, buddy, it's true he's a beast offline and everybody in the world knows it. He's also super, super good online. But here's the thing, there's only online. Offline is only creeping back into reality, and only in a few places on Earth we happen to live in part of it. And so for most people, it's still just online. Today, even more importantly, it's just online. That's what we're playing. That's all that matters right now. Players are loading into it. Again, we don't know what to expect from Punk here. What character is it going to be?
I'm excited. I'm cracking a cold one for this one.
I'm ready. All right, what do we got?
I'm ready. I hope I don't spill this on my T-shirt. That'd be great.
What do we got here? Karen. Okay, all right.
And that's exactly what we said before, right? And the day prior, we were thinking in this environment, to get himself and solidify himself into Winners Finals, it has to be his main character. It has to be Karen.
This is the character that he's done so well with in the past. He's had so much success with. He brings it here. Makes sense. For Space Boy, it's the same kind of thing. We saw the strength of the Seth yesterday, but he's going to come in with the super sick hit confirm on his Sakura.
Yeah, the same kind of thing, the same kind of deal with Karen, right? A very much so a character that kind of relies on those hit confirms to deal some of that big damage, to deal some of those carries. So it's going to be a very even match, I feel like, in terms of the character choice.
Space Boy's out of there.
That's going to be fine. Yeah, no longer a threat with that trigger, but Space Boy doing a very great job of not overextending. The sweep does catch people a couple of times off guard from that far. Ooh, that was big, but no confirmed there from Space Boy on that one.
Well, this... Okay, Punk's out of there. Could have been different.
Yeah, I didn't want to deal with any of those plus frames, so I get it. Space Boy doing it again, and the harassment with the chase down. Space Boy with a very, very impressive start to game 1.
Yeah, those plus frames on Hokusho, dude, what a read that he expected Punk to get out of there like that. It's a hard read.
Oh, man, the big counter poke from the standing short. Space Boy off to a tremendous start on offense. The forward throw, one more. If it was a back throw, he might get stunned.
Oh, David! Oh, my God. Punk has just got to... Okay. Get back to his game plan. The reaction is what he needed to see. However, Space Boy's there.
Oh, no, you're dead. Oh, wait a minute. You're not. I thought it was going to be close enough for something to continue. Space Boy looking fantastic. Is he going to use the V reversal to kind of negate? No, he's going to challenge trigger for trigger.
Punk's out of there.
Oh, no. He thought he might have had a hit. Because, again, we don't ever see Punk drop it the way he drops it like that.
Wow, I have been impressed by Spaceboy for a long time. And like we were saying, this is somebody who I think is absolutely like on the cusp of that huge moment. That game was amazing.
What a bunch of reads.
Not just the footsies and space control and reactions, all of which there were, the hit confirms were there, but the huge reads jump over into EX Dragon Punch. Oh
I almost hucked up the Red Bull. I almost did. It almost came back up. It almost came back. I was like, what? It was wild.
All right, well, here's Punk trying to play a different game. If last time neutral game didn't work out for him and playing on defense didn't work out, he's going to be much more offensive, much more active, and that is working out super well for him.
This guy is a savage. The throw will be enough to do it, and he was looking for a little bit of a maybe throw bait, but now it's Spaceboy's turn. We've seen the kind of damage that Sakura can dish out. The comeback is definitely possible. Oh, not like that, though. The Hokusho just a little bit off center, or off the mark, I should say. Punk completely ready in any atmosphere to whiff punish accordingly.
It's one of his major strengths. Interesting. Overhead there, even Punk not reacting to that.
Yeah, and you see Punk immediately going into that space of the stand roundhouse to get even closer to prepare himself for the punish. And Spaceboy was kind of ready for that, just throwing a little bit of awareness towards Punk. He's like, you know what, I know what you're trying to do, and I'm going to adapt by throwing out different normals. To start off, at least.
Punk just walking away, trying to outrange Hokusho again, maybe.
And what a button to do it, right? Trying to keep Spaceboy at bay with the medium pressure. Oh boy, big confirm now. This is huge because of the fact that Punk is getting closer to that corner. Big counter poke with the crouching medium punch. Again, just back-to-back normals, finding the mark. Excellent choice of universal back-to-back again from Punk this time.
Bunch of plus frames coming out of Spaceboy as he pushes Punk into the corner. Tried to get away. Punk, you know, is scheming. Oh, the hit comes, but not in the confirm. Advantage yet again for Spaceboy.
Critical art on deck, giant crush counter, not get to switch out of there, but at least building or creating some space away from the corner. Standing light kick, one of the best bufferable normals you could ever imagine.
Amazing match right now. Footsies between these two, the risks between them as well.
Getting in there.
Worried about DP, maybe?
Mm-hmm. That was the roundhouse one, right? I blinked for a second.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you are at a pretty good advantage.
Punk just getting out of there, using the strength of Karen. She doesn't necessarily care about having triggers. She can just use that red bar to get out.
Oh. And Punk, I'm trying to find like the activity. Oh, Spaceboy just found all the right timing to counter poke Punk majority of the time.
Again, just getting out of there. Punk's still down in life, though, and in the corner. Oh, it's a huge jump. It's a big opportunity for Punk to really make Spaceboy pay.
And the amount of damage and the carry from the double Orochi has been huge. What a call out. Yeah, that was completely read from the side of Punk. Spaceboy made it a little bit too obvious that he was going to go for that V-trigger activation. But to be fair, that card hasn't been presented. That was actually pretty wild.
It was just a big read by Punk in kind of the same vein, although less risky, as Spaceboy going in for some of the big reads that we saw in game number 1. That tells me that there's interesting history between these two. Again, I know that they've played, but to have those specific kinds of reads in situations like that is really interesting. As we're 1-1.
In that moment, at that time, I don't even know how you could call it like that. But again, it goes into how many times they've played each other. Just that extra intel. Oh yeah, the target combo to chase out just in case, but Spaceboy now close to stun. Yeah, had to backdash in case the throw was there.
Oh, a chase comes. My. Spaceboy's got the corner and a bunch of damage.
Oh my goodness, so far, the control, plus frames into the trigger. The reversal had to come, but Spaceboy did have an opportunity to actually throw and counter it. Down for it, roundhouse for the juggle.
It could have been so much. Instead, completely reversal of fortune as Punk now has Spaceboy in the corner. The hit confirm comes, chooses the bar. Yes! Spaceboy battles out. It's the reads again. Oh!
No.
The classic, if you think your opponent's just trying to buffer, walk up and block and proc it out, as Punk just did.
I wonder how often Spaceboy's going to go into like Tatsu to kind of close the gap and kind of instill that fear from last time. Go into something like -2 off of roundhouse Tatsu into EX uppercut to steal some turns away. I wonder when that kind of mentality is going to come out. So far, he's been playing absolutely solid, so I guess, you know, he's never going to have to really do that or rely on it, but we'll see what happens. Well, something to think about. Here comes Punk now. Full critical art on deck as well. Checking with the low forward master class when it comes to confirms.
Well, Spaceboy's doing great on that front as well. He's going to be maybe looking for the corner here. Ah, okay, so activation, meaning normally more of your reversal. It's not even coming to that. Look at the Gray Life mounting on Space Boy's side. And here it is.
There's the plus frames we were talking about earlier. And Space Boy, a ton of damage is going to be more than enough. She bleeds, and Space Boy makes it count. All tied up here, but it is 3 out of 5, just to keep in mind. I got too excited. I was like, wait a minute. One game apiece? One round apiece?
Yeah, I'm looking for this one to go the distance the way that they're playing right now.
Double roundhouses to check any sort of movement from Punk, just sitting there so patiently, close to having that V trigger. I'm expecting maybe... Okay.
There's a lot of Space Boy waiting for the first move from Punk, as we just saw. Oh, Space Boy gets the corner. They both have done that so far. Amazing.
A little bit of extra mental stack there. Coming in with a little bit of damage. Good and Ken no longer a threat, but I'm pretty sure Punk has enough life to build himself another one. Here comes that activation. There was a hit off the sweep. Man chasing down with the dashes. This time stops it. Punk absolutely knew not going to spend it off the Orochi, but he will spend it this time off of the Tenko. A great confirm and a great ender for Punk. Space Boy now down.
You can only do something so long until Punk catches onto it, you know, and that kind of chasing and the willingness to move forward in situations where it's not guaranteed, but to really press your advantage. It had been working for Space Boy. Right there was the moment when Punk shut it down. And so now there's going to need to be a little bit of a different approach by Space Boy as he comes into this last game, potentially, if Punk were to take it.
We might see somewhat of a tighter gameplay when it comes to like frame chops or whatever, maybe walking forward and tempted with the lights. But yeah, absolutely. I agree that Space Boy needs to kind of pump the brakes a little bit when it comes to the dashing. Punk has already caught wind of that now, but it's a whole different ball game coming into game number 4. Kind of testing each other out with a lot of the longer range normals. Punk and Space Boy kind of checking. Yeah, I like that. Little bit of a poke off of the sandline kick immediately into the crouching medium kick yet again. Same kind of sequence.
Out of the corner, at least the Space Boy. Calling out the jump, moving to the perfect spot for it. Oh, nice. Taking a big turn.
Oh, and I like the jump reset. That would have been clean for Space Boy had he got the punish. He had the right idea. Took a little bit of life for that one, but I don't think he could afford to do it anymore as Punk, neutral jump, baits out the anti-air. Very smart. He didn't press a button on the way down, hence why the crouching heavy punch missed completely. And Punk on the way down with a very, very smart decision, getting the full-on with punish confirmed.
And on the way to taking this is that match point. A lot of him moving up into this range, and you know the danger of each of those crouching medium kicks.
Oh, now more so than ever. You're seeing the amount of bar that Punk has, being able to convert the damage, get that stun, and we're going to see it right now, right? Not only is the stun and the damage there, but the corner carry getting closer into another Oki situation. Space Boy, I was going to say, it may not have been a big life lead, but now it definitely is.
Oh, yeah. Punk getting to the point of stealing turns at this. Oh, it's a big chance actually for Space Boy. Manages to call the right moment out.
And the back throw to readjust. Another forward throw now. Narrowing the gap.
If you can find one more, and it's a grab. It's an empty grab. And who cares about stun? It's the round.
Holy. Oh, geez. Space Boy.
I mean, you don't know if that's not going to be a jump in EXDP because we've seen it before.
Can you believe how far that low forward reached?
It's pretty good.
Oh, and it wasn't the full thing.
Well, okay. But Space Boy's still finding another one. There's a bit of a turn taken. Still doing that stuff.
Punk God has to be worried that the next time around. Good and Ken make it save 2 times over. No longer a threat, but still, again, 2 bars. No problem for Punk and Karen.
Still has that super wow. What a gutsy reply by Space Boy. Would love to keep control here in this corner.
And look at that pocket he's playing at, right? Just outside of the roundhouse range, safely throwing in those fireballs. So it's a lot harder to react with EX Tenko. But my God, the counter poke from Punk. The slight walk up into the counter hit. Get off me. V reversal.
Well, this kind of opens up the ability of Space Boy to get another activation. Here it is.
Forward throw now. That is dangerous. Back throw can actually do it. And Punk knows it.
Oh, it was an out of range option for Space Boy. And if anybody in the world you do not want to whiff against like that, it is Panda's Punk. who moves into winners finals on the strength of that counter right there. What amazing play. I mean, as always, by Punk. His footsies and his adaptations and his hit confirms and et cetera from him are just always fantastic to watch.
I feel a little robbed, David.
Yeah?
I feel a little robbed.
Okay.
Space Boy, oh man, that was the last moment, the worst moment he could have whiffed a V trigger in front of someone like Punk.
Right.
Man, that was tough. Because again, he had all the momentum on him.
Yeah.
He had Punk in an ideal situation. A lot of plus frames to go with the V trigger ready. That could have gone either way. It could have gone to another game. But either way, kudos to Space Boy with a very impressive performance. All around impressive performance. I'm very much so looking forward to breaking down that at home, actually, just to watch that over. Folks at home, if you guys happen to miss it, please. You better watch that because that was pretty wild. Easily. It's so hard to top after that. Like, how do you even follow that
It's
up?
the best match so far. We're going to have a bunch of good ones coming up. Next one will be Eyedrop versus Idom. Again, two players who know each other well, who have played many, many times in New York. And let's hear what they had to say.
Going into it, yeah, Idom and Eyedrop. We see Eyedrop starting it off with, I'm excited to see my good pal Idom in top 8. Hoping to see him get far in this bracket, but right now I got to expose him for the fraud he actually is. No hard feelings, buddy.
Wow, wow. You know, in the actual message that he sent, there was like a slight smile emoji that followed that. So I just want to put the context out there that there was a smile afterward.
It was after the full quote, not like anywhere in between.
It was after the full quote.
I see. I see.
Yeah. Good dude. All right, let's move on to what Idom had to say. My strategy from yesterday seemed to work out well, so I will continue that today. Good luck to Eyedrop. What was his strategy yesterday? Quote, my strategy for this match will be to hit my opponent more than he hits me. Again, don't believe it. It's not just about hits for this man. Is he telling you he's not going to do a command grab at all? No. No way.
He hit at least 2 sunset wheels in his match.
Oh, yeah,
we were keeping tabs. Don't believe anything this lying robot says, but we'll tell you what, it's going to be a very exciting match. Idom versus Eyedrop, Karen versus Laura. You can imagine, historically, again, they've played time and time again.
Yeah.
But Idom has played the premier Karens all over the world as well.
For sure.
So you can imagine Eyedrop has a lot of pressure on him going into this.
Yeah, and when it comes to their results in tournament, it's been almost entirely Idom taking those Ws, even in locals.
It's not like as convincing though. I mean,
it's not, and it's a while ago for a lot of these results that we have up here. It's a while ago, and things have definitely changed. Eyedrop has definitely done great work over the last. Again, we were talking about it before. You know, year and a half of kind of primarily online play that we've had. We've seen a lot of great stuff from him. We had been seeing good stuff before in person, to be clear, but I think in particular there's been great results from him coming up. So, character matchup we expect. We're looking for Poison instead of Laura. For Idom.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. This is the character, you know, that he's been polishing up. This is the character that he used to excel him into the rafters of greatness. So we will see. We'll see how it works out. And so just off the bat, I think, you know, Karen does have a pretty decent time of closing the gap against Poison overall, especially after something like that. If it's blocked, does get a free couple of dash-ins, and this is where it becomes a threat. But Idom, no stranger to danger, especially in this matchup. We'll see how he counters it.
He's been caught in the corner before, but he's still there as Eyedrop's getting very close to the stun into the round. Idom hanging out. What a block! A sick punish into way out of the corner, into legit damage, into all of a sudden next hit he could kill because there's going to be a super soon.
Oh, and then he happens to get cooked up by the Molotov. No, that's going to be fine. He gets to move out a little bit. Eyedrop does get the trigger activation. It is trigger 2, by the way.
Ooh.
A pretty big threat if the EX heart rate comes out. Another blocked overhead. You're going to test this man and his reactions. He's blocked it once. He'll block it twice. Don't even dare to try it thrice.
In that situation, Eyedrop had corner control and did try to test it, and completely different result after that. I'm very surprised to see that he went back to it at the end of that round.
Ooh. Surprise is a good word. I feel a little disappointed.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you understand the player you're playing against. You know full well that he's blocked it the first time. It's like, you know, he's ready for it.
Yeah.
If you got hit the first time, it's like, all right, now it's a little sus, right? Like maybe that's the green light for me to try it again, be sneaky, but not after the first one.
In the meantime, Idom has complete control of the situation, and you can see their hesitance to spend that V-meter. Here it is.
And for this very moment, right? I mean, it's kind of funky.
Hey. Oh, no.
Interesting. Oh, and actually didn't try to risk V-Trigger 2. Interesting. I was very curious about that, whether or not. Oh, no, that's the palm, excuse me. I'm thinking about V-Skill 2.
I see.
See, now I got it mixed up. Because how often do you see anything 2 with Karen?
No, yeah, it's not very often. It's true. Yeah.
No, that should be the counter because I know you get Mujin Kyaku over and over and over and over again. But for the most part, that could have been a great time to use it, right? Plus frames after the heart rate, EX heart rate. Why not try to gamble it with that little life left? You were holding on to it for so long. Might as well have done it. Ooh.
Most of this match has been fought in this corner right here, as Eyedrop's been able to get the corner a bunch of times. Got it again.
To be fair, Eyedrop was actually the one that's managed to keep Idom in this corner for like a good majority of like the bits of the round. Then it's been all explosions from Idom, as we're going to see right now.
Yeah. Just like that, it's Idom instead.
Ooh. Ideal kick to finish it off, and of course the EX Love Me Tender. Is this going to be more than enough? You already know it. Above, sit him down.
So Eyedrop again got to that corner situation of having control and pressure and Oki, and Idom just turned it around.
And it's so impressive to see Idom just turning around pretty much, it seems effortlessly from the spectator's point of view.
You can tell he doesn't feel too concerned when it comes to defending. Look at this, no text in those situations. Just blocking it out, just walking away. A lot of gray life as Eyedrop has the complete coast to coast.
And still manages to tag, finds a way out yet again. Idom again with a impenetrable defense from what it seems like. Eyedrop has not made him guess too many times, but even so, Idom, when he has to guess, he's made the right call out.
Looking for something big. Oh, talk about range. Idom has a lot of control here. Super even. Look at all the gray life that was up there. 2 in a row. Pretty quickly, Idom up on Eyedrop.
It's looking kind of nasty, David. It's looking pretty nasty. Some of the things that I like to see from Eyedrop, I do like the pressure, I do like the attempts at frame traps, but it's hard to even condition Idom to even press a button in the first place if you haven't really tacked that damage onto him. But that's no easy feat, to be quite honest with you. This is quite the tall order. Idom just looking impenetrable in these first 2 games.
And again, they come into this having played each other so many times that they're going to know proclivities from each other. And I feel for everybody when it's Idom who knows your tendencies.
No, without a doubt. I think so too. Oh boy, finding the V-skill, moving on over into this corner again. Eyedrop. Again, so Eyedrop is looking for some specific things here. He's looking for any sort of whiff punish, any sort of baits. Idom does not give him any of that info. No. He's been holding his hand close to his chest and not letting Eyedrop get away with anything, or at least giving him any sort of openings. Man, this is going to be more than enough. Burning him up. Idom looking absolutely clean in this set.
Playing from ranges where he just has so much control, and when he doesn't, when he's defending, he's made every correct defensive choice.
Okay,
as I'm talking him up.
Well, classic commentator's curse, Dave.
I know.
Sprinkle it on there.
I know. I love that range briefly where we saw Eyedrop playing just outside of the Crouching Fierce, but then Idom, it moves forward just like that.
Oh, finding the Orochi. Good amount of damage already tacked onto Idom. You see a little bit more activity from the heart rate. The medium punch one. Ooh, yes, I like that choice of the V-skill yet again. No whip punish that time. From the whip roundhouse, but now full trigger on from Idom. Still trying to keep that space occupied as much as possible.
And it's not quite over yet. What a setup from Idom to seal the deal with a very fast 3-0. Idom moves into winners finals. Eyedrop down to loser's side. And it is what we thought seemed likely in winners finals between Idom and Punk. It will be that match in winners finals side.
I mean, it was a little bit of a surprise when we saw the way that Space Boy was performing. It could have easily gone down to the wire with a one slight mishap, but in this case with Eyedrop and Idom, it just seemed like Idom just outplayed him.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, Eyedrop did not have enough information to break down the robot. But it is what it is, man. Moving on to the loser side, but that's not going to be the last we see of him, obviously. Let's take a look at the bracket and where he ended up. We still have plenty more games to play, but we've already solidified the winners finals. You see Punk versus Idom. You do not want to miss that. We still have to go through some of the other players down below. Mandrake versus Shine is going to be coming up after this break. Kami versus NYC Furby as well. And you see in the quarterfinals, Eyedrop and Space Boy looking to recover from their previous beatdowns. But man, I gotta say, seeing these cats enter every single tournament, there's just been so many to go through. It's been very exciting and a great place to become a Street Fighter V player. In fact, we have many more opportunities like that over at PlayStation, who's teamed up with a lot of the fighting game community for a lot of their events. But right now, we have the Open Series Summer Win-a-thon. Go to compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation tournaments going on until August 31st in the United States as well as Canada.
It's not the only game that you can play. Another game you can play is Street Fighter Duel, which is now available for download in China, and everybody else can get one pretty soon. You can follow Ryu, Chun, and others to explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters, and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Counter, stun, combo, super. It's got an impressive array of fighting elements, and the innovative multiplayer combos offer you a new battle experience challenging your strategy and control. A variety of PvP gameplay and tournaments with in-game rewards will definitely help inspire you to fight. The arcade legends were born on the mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter. Again, that's what we are at today. Who's the best in NA East #1? We've got a lot more to come. Stick around to find out.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
You shouldn't only admire my work, but also concentrate a little more on your lessons, Mana. That wake you up? How's this for you? You must be careful. Messy water. Soul satellite! Satellite! What's the meaning of fate? You shall know. You should try to learn to use your power a little better.
Welcome back to CPT NA East #1. Again, we know that the winners finals will be Panda Punk versus Idom. We have sealed that one up for you in the previous set. Now we're going to be hopping down to the losers side of things, where we have, as you can see, DR Mandrake versus END Shine, and then UIU Kami versus BCTSMA NYC Furby.
What I want to know is why you stopped calling him Mandrake.
Mandrake. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
You stopped rolling your R's.
I
you
can't
stopped
do
pronouncing it. Yes, you can. You just did it. Mandrake.
I don't know what you mean. It's going to be END Shine versus him, and I think that's a cool one. Again, they don't live near each other, right?
Not,
but they actually
not one bit.
No, but they actually have played against each other quite a bit. That's not just in offline stuff, but in online stuff, in online NLBC, for example, they've played against each other a bunch, and apparently even just in casuals and that kind of thing, in battle lounges, they've been playing a bunch. So if we can hop into what the players had to say, we'll maybe get you a little bit more perspective on this. This is a difficult match for me. Mandrake says, although I beat Shine the last time we played in tournament, he is the only player I've played battle lounges with lately. There you go. So it's going to be very interesting. Let's see who mixes who first.
I can appreciate that. As a Urian, you know, like a Urian enthusiast, I'm not a player, but I do like watching some Urian. I can appreciate that. I want to see the mix. I like characters that mix a lot, and I love the players that do it, including the opponent for Mandrake, which is Shine. Let's take a look at what he had to say going into it. This match is going to be alternative fundamentals to the fullest.
Well. All right, Shine. So just
what an eloquent way to put it.
I know, I like it. Yeah.
Very, very intelligent man.
Again, it's been real back and forth when it comes to them playing in events, and that has been the case for a while. For a while there in the past, longer ago, it was more frequently Shine, but of recent times, it has been different than that. And when they come into playing this match, you know, I think I'm sure that Mandrake has a better idea of what's going to be happening than I do necessarily, because Shine played Cody, and we have seen Cody from him a couple of times in recent times. We saw Ibuki from him to ultimately make top 8. Right? That was, he did go back to that character. But there are a couple of options for him here, at least in a way where for Mandrake, we know that he's going to go Urian.
Yeah. I mean, it could be the Lucia pick. It could be just him just trying to
plausible
make sure, ensure his way. Maybe not. It could be like, you know, Ibuki to ensure that he makes it into grand finals or even take down the tournament. Who knows? But you are correct in saying that Mandrake has been the Urian player. Has only been really a Urian player.
Yeah, man. Ibuki it is. Okay.
It is the Tree Fitty special. It's going to be the Ibuki going in from Urian. You can see a lot of mixes coming in.
Again, when it comes to Shine, he's only lost to Punk so far, as it has been the case for a few players that we've been talking about.
And it wasn't even like main character to main character.
No.
We saw what transpired. It was Cody versus Vega. Now he's all business going up against the businessman.
Mandrake with the confirm. He's got almost at the corner. Shine blew it up instantly. Again, you could tell that they have played against each other before.
Oof. Oh, yeah. Big whiff punish there from Mandrake. Barely out of that range, too. More metallic spheres coming out, finding the kunai. Here comes Shine, at least trying to readjust himself and push Mandrake towards the corner. Puts himself a little bit towards there. I liked a little bit of a bait there with the V-skill charge up. It had Shine a little bit antsy. He overcommitted to some normal. I saw the blow up there from Mandrake. Very nice stuff.
His control with this has been amazing so far. Very fireball heavy. He's got the corner again. He wasn't disturbed by that EX last time. Oh, lovely jump timing.
Good call out on the metallic spear. Here comes the kunai. Back medium punch for the reset. The V-shift still catches Urian with the second wave of the kunai. No, not today. And Shine didn't even press a button. He just waited.
He knew. However, now he's in the corner. He does have an EX, but he's getting to a place where he's in trouble. It's plus frames here for Mandrake again. If he gets one more, it's going to be the game. He's got it.
Oh, my. And just a slight delay there. Paired up with a little bit of movement, caught Tree Fitty Shine moving just a little bit too much.
The beginning of that round was so strong for Shine as well. I mean, he had a bunch of great sequences. He made some really nice reads. He knew that there was going to be the EX headbutt. He did a lot of really strong things. And then the comeback came from Mandrake, and it wasn't even about V-Trigger. It was about normal stuff, and it was legit. I love to see it.
Yeah, but we saw, you know, Mandrake be the one to put Shine into that comeback factor in the first place, right? Building up that V trigger. You could see that Mandrake has had a great time in starting off the rounds with that damage, with that control.
Yep.
Ooh, big time anti-air. Just because of the fact, you know, he was within range, gets the crouching heavy punch, gets a full-on conversion. Could have been a kunai.
Again, he's ready. And now he's got the corner again. We have been here a bunch so far. The delay, it works out. It's going to be close to stun.
Yes.
It is stun, never mind. Oh boy, that's going to be that. Yeah, already had the end result preordained.
The meter management has just been so on point for Mandrake as well, knowing full well that EX Chariot tackle was going to be enough for the stun. Getting himself all that little extra. He's willing to spend it. Mandrake making all the right moves against Shine so far. Ooh, nice little conversion there off the lights. Being able to kind of regain that momentum against Shine, eliminating any sort of offense.
So many tricks for him as he approaches here. And again, he's got the corner. It's Shine looking for a way to escape. Escape has come, and he's got that trigger if he can make the mix-up happen. Maybe he doesn't even need it.
Oh,
here he is, reading the read again.
The stun, I think, you know, he's not going to be enough to kill. He has to go for a reset here.
Yeah,
and
for
what
sure.
a way to do it. Left, right, time to guess. Both times blocked over.
Yo, the defense!
Mandrake! You know, one one Aegis Reflector setup could be enough.
Oh, the
you
challenge from
bounced
Shine!
back and you hit him with that target combo?
Wow, 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 wow. That was such sick defense from both, blocking it out, jumping away, and then challenging at the right time by Shine. Amazing performance.
Where was the follow-up normal from Mandrake? After the block mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did Shine able to get away with it like that? I'm dumbfounded here. Oh, no anti-air is present. EX
Jumping right over. That EX is out of here.
And being able to read that is just so important, right? Having to sit through all those plus frames afterwards. Man, and speaking of reads, Shine getting over that metallic sphere. Another, give me one throw. Here comes the Aegis. We saw the defense earlier from Shine. It's been immaculate.
Again, the challenge comes.
Man. And good awareness to keep himself. Good reaction to say to go -2.
He's got a big opportunity. Oh, he's got super. He's got super. It's not going to be super, but it'll be a mix-up, and then Shine ends up on the right side of it.
What?
He
bounces into it. What do you mean?
He just wanted the kunai to hit, but there's none left. Which one got there first? It was Shine's. It was Shine's. By pixels, it was Shine's that got there first to take the game.
I don't know what that was earlier. I don't know what the deal was with bouncing into the mirror, taking a free metallic sphere, but my man was playing with fire.
Yes.
This dude was trying to play with fire. It's actually ridiculous. How did he get that? He knew what he was doing. 100% he knew what he was doing. Nobody willingly bounces themselves in a mirror.
He was playing with electricity. He knew the results. Amazing stuff. The defensive throw there, and now you got Mandrake. Well, could have maybe pressured for the corner. Didn't want to overcommit.
Oh, the whip punish there, making the deal afterwards. Crush counter, not really getting a full conversion. Had time to charge as well, so don't understand why. Here comes Fuma Shuriken. Oh, anti-air's present. So hard to call.
Oh,
Shine.
Shine has missed a couple of those. Again, a situation where he knows he only needs the kunai.
Oh,
Mandrake. Here's the chance. Keep in mind the challenges from Shine. It doesn't work out this time. Mandrake's got another one.
Yeah, into the mirror, but still contesting afterwards. I felt like Mandrake recovered just in time, but
yeah,
still Shine sneaks in that crouching jab. EX kunai to start things off. Mandrake just got clipped. EX to EX!
That was double. Yeah, man. He spent a lot of bar to get that throw right there.
And a very deep knee drop to keep himself. Plus another big whiff punish to put Shine into the corner. But the back throw even bigger than the last sequence. Very important for Shine now to apply pressure.
And he's doing it.
Ooh.
Turning it into a jump, into the grab, into another grab. Aegis. Shine again challenges the confidence of this man. Oh my god,
the
defense!
Blocks. The anti-air is there this time? No.
No, surely it was supposed to have been EX Metallic Sphere.
No shot.
I don't know. It surely was not intended to be headbutt. I don't know. Why would you do double, crouching fears that hit twice? I think he just probably screwed up. Bummer for him.
Might have hugged the corner a little bit too far.
Yeah, that's what I'm
up.
thinking. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a little tough.
It's a weird one either way, so I don't know what to tell you. But the result is that Shine is now up 2-1. I still really like stuff that we're seeing out of both of these players. Again, the defense, I think, from both, there have been amazing challenges by both. Amazing blocking sequences by both, too.
And just good spacing, too, from both of these players, right? We've seen a lot of good whiff punishes so far. Just overall, it's been an exciting match. Shine, this time, getting full conversion off of a raw kunai. How often do you see that from the spacing?
Right out of there was Mandrake, expecting that EX kunai.
Oh.
His challenges in those situations have been effective.
Forward throw now.
He's in trouble.
I like that, checking the dash, the false dash at that. Mandrake does have trigger available. Doesn't opt to go for it as a block string.
Knees didn't work out, but he's still in there for pressure. And he's working on super as well. If he finds a hit, okay!
He just ran into it. Nothing deeper than that. We're going to keep it very shallow. Fact of the matter is, Mandrake went for a neutral jump, and Shine just ran into the hefty
I mean, my guess is that he was probably looking for a view rev or something, but that's not what came out.
I don't know, because, like, for Mandrake, sure, but for Shine's behalf,
yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you either.
Ooh. Does get the knee drop against Shine. Shine to possibly contest it air-to-air. That would have been funky if there was a trade combo after that, but still, Mandrake now closing the gap. Here comes Fuma. Shuriken.
First one of those to significantly hit.
And the damage isn't bad, forcing the amount of meter that he got out of it, right?
Quick rise into fast button here as Shine, just like that, is back on the approach.
That was a little bit risky.
Okay. Okay, and it is enough to tie it up 2-2.
When I see that charged Mega Buster firing off, I always immediately look into the life bar to see how much it shaves off, and it's always an impressive amount of damage,
It's always a lot.
no matter what part of the combo it's in.
For sure.
I love that. And I love the conversion. Good call out on the movement against Shine, fully prepared to make that kind of conversion off of a slightly, last second kind of commitment. Last second confirm, I guess is the right word.
Great spacing on the kunais. Shine finds himself in corner control just like that.
Ooh.
God, the range of that is so expert. Ooh, delay! It's great damage. It's good stun. He was worried about DP. Shine understood.
We've seen so much success coming from Mandrake when it comes to hesitating or delaying the normals.
Dude,
there
just when he
is.
didn't expect it. Last time he thought it was, this time is when it came.
Oh boy! What?
Oh my god! So many incidents of wild little hits will put Mandrake now at match point.
I've clenched my abs way too many times than I'd like to count in that matchup. That was way too close for comfort. I should have a six-pack by the end of this. It was actually ridiculous. Mandrake came in a little bit too close for comfort, but now looking at match point against Shine. Ooh, a little bit too far off the mark.
That
what
was
a time to
so
move
sick,
forward.
right? The sack throw, basically, bringing back tech from 100 years ago.
Has it been that long?
I think so. Look at that stun. Shine's in trouble. Okay, now, just like that.
Huge momentum shift. Oh, but the EX tackle just taking it all away. And Mandrake doing the same to Shine's tournament life, eliminating him from the loser's bracket. Mandrake is going to be moving on in a very impressive bout. Man, that was close.
That was a sick match.
It's as expected
Yes,
to be
of course,
between those
for
two.
sure.
These guys have been fighting tooth and nail for like the longest time. Again, you saw it in that pregame statement. They've been playing each other in battle lounges.
Yeah.
We expected it to be this close.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun on that one, man. That was so cool. Again, what really sticks out in my mind, I think, is how they both defended against each other's really strong mix-ups that they both have when it's the right situation for their V-triggers. They both can do that, and both of them know what's coming up next so well that they blocked or challenged in situations where a lot of other people will be pretty worried or wouldn't know what's coming next. They clearly did. Now, the other player did definitely like make stuff happen with their V-trigger regardless, but I'm still thinking about some of those situations where you know, Mandrake blocked the entirety of the back and forth
Oh, yeah,
situation, like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. And where Shine challenged with fast buttons when it's
Man,
just right in front of him.
who thinks of that? That was
That's what
actually
I'm talking about. That
ridiculous.
was
We
sick.
could see the bracket if you'd like to,
That was
production.
sick.
Don't worry about that. But I'll tell you what, that was a Street Fighter match.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Street Fighter match to watch. I would say there was a lot of excitement from a lot of these matches earlier, especially Spaceboy and Punk. This one, though, takes the cake in terms of a true Street Fighter match, in terms of the adaptation, the patience, the reads, everything that transpired, the confirms, the whiff punishes. It has the complete package. This was the easily, or at least for me, one of the better matches of the day.
That's top 3 so far for sure. Now for the 4th one, we got UYU Kami and BC TSMA NYC Furby. If we could get a word from the players, let's see what we got. Again, a couple of people who know each other well. From Arturo's side, Sabin, NYC Furby. Kami is a really strong opponent, as expected from NLBC. I'm glad he upgraded to Fiber as well. Hopefully we can have a good and entertaining match. I have a lot of respect for him as a player. Shoutouts to NLBC, my sponsors, everyone that supports me, and the Simquisition.
I was waiting.
Yes!
I looked right at you when it came to that ending part of the quote. I was waiting for that little from David. I can appreciate that. That's pretty nice. Let's move on to Kami. Currently upgraded to Fiber. I wonder who will win this tournament. That has been the speculation, the question on everybody's mind, including some of the players here. Kami should be thinking it should be him.
I agree. Why not?
But the
At
fact
this
that he
point?
posed that question, I don't know, man. I don't know how he's feeling. I don't know what's in that head of his. Real ambiguous guy, if you ask me.
Shoutouts to Andy. He's only lost to Punk so far. And to reiterate, Arturo's only down in loser side because he lost to Spaceboy, and that was actually his first match of the tournament. He's been in losers ever since, so it's been a long road for him. When we did see him yesterday, though, in that top 16, he was a killer. He was so sick, actually,
I kind of want to take a look at his run, right? He started off in loser side, took down Delta Red, took down Child.
Yeah.
Both of those games 2-0, 2-0. In fact, I think the first game against Delta Red was 4 rounds straight.
I think it was, too, yeah.
Against Child, I think he only lost 1 round. Maybe I might be wrong on that one.
It's
but at least it's
now, Art was maybe thinking that this might be Rashid as the opponent he would play against, but instead it's going to be Seth, at least to start, from Kami. As we're in our last of the first round of loser side of this top 8.
You know, Kami has very similar results as well, coming in from the loser side, 2-0 all across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the most explosive Seth and setups we've seen so far. It's been very clean, so it's going to be quite the task to see if Arturo has anything to say to keep Seth at bay.
His V-Trigger 2 has been amazing. His utility of it, love it. Right now, though, Arturo really in control.
And keep in mind, there is V-Skill 2 on the side of Kami, so if he catches any sort of like normal retracting or something that whiffs, he's going to be spending it to close the gap into Hecaton Freeze. Ooh, yes.
Yep,
I
and
like
great corner
conversion.
carry on this, too.
Activation time. Oh. Didn't
Well,
let it rip. Unfortunate. Didn't let it bounce at least once.
but
over.
regardless, okay, Arturo just spends it to get out of there. It's a big punish opportunity for him.
Oh, you're in that situation where it could be a snipe. The anti-air isn't there, man. Kami fully utilizing. Oh, the side switch.
Anything will do it, almost from both sides. Landing on it, Art knew that he wouldn't die. He had it scoped out precisely. I wasn't as sure as he was, but he was absolutely right.
Was that teleport behind Kami? Because Kami jumped back.
Yeah, usually
right?
that's
Okay.
usually the setup is behind.
Gotcha.
But if the opponent's jumping, it kind of comes out weirdly like that.
I see. I was thinking to myself, what could Kami have done to possibly change the course of that round?
You could just block it out, dude. Come on.
No way, dude. That's even to lead you in within sniper range? No way, dude. Just block it.
Just block. I don't know.
Make that a t-shirt.
I was blocking that.
60% of the time it works every time, dude.
In the meantime, it's Arturo again with a ton of control. Okay, Kami gets the float. There's that fantastic utility of V-Shift for Dawson. Okay.
And the one time he decided to push forward with that slide, does get, you know, kind of harassed afterwards by Kami. Now the trigger activation is coming.
He might just... Did he know what setup was going to be coming? There's depth. Okay! Didn't quite build super. That was very close.
Any touch could do it. EX Hecatonchires. What a smart move. Oh, and the sniper. And that all built up because of that V reversal. NYC Furby. Yo, young Art. So smart. That was unintentional. But man, this guy's a genius.
He really is strong. I mean, when he, as you said, he kind of goes through phases of being like really good, and then he kind of like takes a step back. That's been the case for him for many years at this point. It's just a question of whether he's playing seriously or not. Whenever he plays seriously, he is this player with such talent.
And he's been this way for ages.
Oh, yeah.
Decades even.
Literally 2.5 decades at this point. Not quite 2.5, but approaching.
Imagine being that solid in some of in one of the hardest scenes to be good at fighting games in. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man has risen to the top on numerous occasions.
Right now, he's just over it. Look at the surgical positioning for him. There's the jump over by Kami.
Is ridiculous gameplay coming out from young Art.
And he's out of there.
Amazing.
Challenges are coming. There haven't even been that many offensive opportunities for Kami. When they've come, some of them look good, but Art has challenged as well, and he did right there too, and he's been right about that a lot.
I'm waiting to see what's going to come out from Kami, trying to chase down. Ooh, just unfortunate for Arturo. Immediately, Ixoga Gale at the Mad Cradle with a side.
That was almost 1,000 damage.
That was going to be EX Fireball afterwards to get himself the sequence.
Okay, now Kami has Trigger. Art gets there with the check in time.
A little bit high off the mark, but it was still meaty enough for at least to retain his turn or momentum.
How about this? He's going to hope that Seth cooks a little bit. He did.
What a jump from Kami. We got to see this activation, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Grab instead. Art challenges. And it's going to be enough. It's going to be enough. What a call out that Kami was about to dash forward in that way, and Art did not let him get away with that.
I mean, I don't even think he needed to dash. A slight walk-up, possibly. I don't know what the situation was frame-wise, but it wasn't going to be his turn.
It's not his turn if he dashes, that's
not
for sure.
At all.
Yeah.
So I was just curious. Like, he could have just walked up, applied a little bit of
I mean, you can just
pressure.
do forward strong or something like that to make sure that the opponent can't do anything immediately, but that wasn't his choice. You know, I think he just thought that Art was going to sit still, but instead, Sabin looking great defensively. So now we've gone back to character select. Again, what I heard from before was that this may have been Rashid instead of Seth. And now we may see Kami go to Rashid as...
It makes sense.
Maybe a stronger option for him.
So, I mean, yeah, like Arturo has already told you that pretty much he's taken down that Seth, and Kami's just testing out the waters. That's a pretty normal thing to do. You know, use as many games as you can to get this kind of intel. Rashid wouldn't be too bad of a pick, honestly. Yeah. I've seen it shine through numerous tournaments that he's participated in, even like on his own streams. I've seen him grind this character out.
For sure.
He's well versed in this character now, so I wouldn't be surprised. And as you see it on your screen, it is going to be the Rashid pick. And now going into it, he's going to have a pretty decent time trying to close the gap against Dulcine. Does have access to Eagle Spike, does have access to Whirlwind Shot, some normals to even contest and with punish. So it's going to be a whole different dynamic in this match. But for Furby,
that's what he hopes for anyway, right?
It just might be another day at the office.
Right.
Or I guess in the arcades for young Art.
Oh, okay, this is exactly where Kami wants to be and where we didn't see quite enough of it last time. Oh, really? Wow, that was really expertly placed.
Back-to-back Yoga Gales trying to get a jump reset, but still, here comes Arturo with the lockdown.
Ooh, it was supposed to have been Gale, and Kami takes advantage.
There's the activation from into the V-trigger to the instant air Eagle Spike for the damage. Ooh! Slightly off the mark. Now it's going to be tough. You better get ready for the snipe. And that was the high-low no-go. Kami gets schmixed while in the cooker.
You just know it's probably going to be an overhead low. The low is safer, right? That's all you can really think about at that moment.
Right. Ooh.
Here it is.
Oh, boy. The raw Yoga Flame, that's how he feels today? Man, those are so deep. Those Yoga drills have been phenomenal for young Art.
Oh, wow.
You're dead.
I think that's it. Yep. I think that may have been the only time that we saw V-Skill even charged by Arturo, who had, honestly, complete control throughout the entirety of that set. Almost the entirety. There were a couple things I guess I can think of that were strong from Kami as well. But clearly, for the most part, it was Arturo having a great spot on screen versus Seth.
Yeah.
He had a ton of strong anti-airs. He had good defense the couple situations he needed it in. He had his own really good pressure. And he dealt with the mobility of those two characters by not just having screen control, but by moving in himself, by being the one on offense himself in quite a few of those situations.
Right, and also making sure that a lot of the things that Kami tried to get away with were severely punished. A couple of those things happened with Seth. One of those key instances actually happened with Rashid as well, where Kami started to get the momentum in the corner, missed an activation of that V-trigger whirlwind, and tried to pursue it afterwards. And ever since that moment, again, it looked like he was in control, just completely went downhill. And Arturo made him feel pretty bad for it, right, by taking it all the way out. That's just how it goes. We see Rashid as being one of the momentum-based characters, and if you shut that down, it's pretty much a done deal. As you see, Eyedrop going up against Mandrake the next couple of matches, or sorry, the next match in the losers quarterfinals. And again, we see NYC Furby moving on to play against Space Boy,
and that will be a run back, baby.
That is indeed a double jeopardy. So very excited to see that, as you should be. But we are going to take a quick break. Just to remind you folks at home, we have so many events that have been going on, not even just today for the CPT. They also, we have a DreamHack going on as well. But we also want to remind you guys, with PlayStation, in conjunction with them, we have so many tournaments for the United States and Canada. In fact, go to compete.playstation.com to check out all the information going on up until August 31st for the Summer Winathon event. Again, you do not want to miss it. Be a part of all of that and more. Especially in the current state of Street Fighter V, it's a great time to jump back on the game.
For sure, I definitely agree with that. We're having a lot of fun doing that. Another way you can have a lot of fun is by heading to mobile, to your mobile phone, where Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China. You can follow classic Street Fighter characters and experience stories, recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. It's got an impressive array of fighting elements and innovative multiplayer combos. It's got a variety of PvP gameplay. It's got tournaments. It's got in-game rewards. You'll definitely find it an inspiration. The arcade legend is reborn on the mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter.
We are getting closer and closer to figuring out who's going to be the beast from the East, but there's so many more to go through, so stick around. After this break, we'll have more of that from the East Coast here at the Capcom Pro Tour.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up turn to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
without stars.
Main event! Line it up. What a bomb! Power to the earth! See what I'm really made of.
Uh-oh. Pleased to meet you.
The honor was mine. I'll settle this. I'm shaking here. Bow down before my psycho power.
Only 6 remain here in the NA East qualifier number 1 for the Capcom Pro Tour 2021. My name is Vicious, here with Ultra David. Again, we have some of the best in the East going at it again. We see a lot of New York representation, and we saw what transpired earlier from that top 8. It's been absolutely exciting. If you missed it, I feel kind of bad for you because they've been explosive. Take a look at the scores real quick. As crazy as the scores look, some of these matches were pretty ridiculous.
Well, even the ones that were 3-0s were actually really impressive for how much control they showed on the player who won. So those are worth checking out if you haven't as well. The 3-1 for Punk versus Spaceboy. Boy, Spaceboy could have made that even closer than that. And then, honestly, Mandrake versus Shine was super sick. What a fun match that was. Fantastic display by both. But as you can see, it was Mandrake who moved on. And it'll be Eyedrop versus Mandrake. And then after that, Spaceboy versus NYC Furby. We're going to start, though, with Eyedrop versus Mandrake.
And yeah, again, NYC Furby putting an absolute clinic on with that Dawson matchup, going up against Kami's both Seth and Rashid in a fashion that we're not really used to seeing. I feel like it's usually a lot closer in the way that they played in overall sets. But, man, there's just something about Arturo. There's something in the water right now in New York, I'll tell you that much. But Arturo, again, making full waves with that 3-0. Eyedrop versus Mandrake. Right, we're looking forward to that one. Eyedrop didn't really get to see much out of him, but to be fair, he was playing against one of the best in the world, Idom.
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, the way that Idom had control in that match was again, just amazing. If you didn't check it out, I highly recommend it. If you are interested in seeing a Poison who knows how to control and where to do so, how to do so, when to do so, it was Idom in that match. Super fun to watch. I've seen these two play a couple of times online. It feels to my memory is that it's been back and forth quite a bit, as we're looking this to be Urian versus Karen, and it is.
So it's going to be very interesting. Mandrake, okay, we've seen him in the stages of the CPT pretty often.
Yeah.
Eyedrop, I feel like making it into this stage is the time for him to really show what he's about and make a name for himself, make an even bigger name for himself. We're going to see if he does that with the Karen choice. And so far, I'm liking it. It's been a slugfest.
Yeah, so far, just working on the pushback. He's taken some hits, but in terms of stage positioning, he is slowly moving Mandrake backwards, and that's going to be huge for him. There it is. Okay, the catch. The catch comes. We catch up. Taking advantage there of those advantage frames, and Mandrake goes right back to this mid-range control.
The anti-air is there. Eyedrop still maintaining the fundamentals. There's the activation off the trigger. You saw the movement option against Mandrake get stuffed, but that was just enough to seek in a headbutt or a sequence. But now it's all Eyedrop. Not going to spend it. Forward throw. I hope he doesn't regret it because there is going to be a block
not
overhead
again!
into the trigger.
Not again!
How many people are going to block his overhead today? Mandrake with a big block.
Of course, that's exactly how he lost an entire game versus Idom, going for those overheads.
Sheesh. And we were just highlighting it too. As soon as we saw that block happen, you see time freeze. You see the trigger ready to get shot out into orbit. Man was looking real clean and pristine.
And that was versus a very loaded Mandrake too. It wasn't even early in the round. Eyedrop again, though, works on trying to get the corner for himself. He got close last time. He's going to get there now. Never mind, as I speak too soon. Okay, insistent about it.
Too many steps forward. Mandrake just firing it out with the EX tackle. This is going to be great for the side switch now. A little bit of pressure off the target.
Terrible
combo.
situation to be in. He jumps out properly. No! And the hit confirm comes from Mandrake with crouching strong ×2.
How is he coming up from these scrambles? Everything's coming up Mandrake right now. This has been ridiculous. Eyedrop had his way out. He was clear. Still manages to find his way to get sucked into the mirror.
Yeah, it just kicked into it. Thought it was time. Maybe he thought it was time that it was about to go away. It wasn't quite. Instead, put himself right back into the blender. Game 1.
And he got
Mandrake.
smoked from using that overhead.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Again.
There's clearly so much.
He got one. Wait, he got one.
Okay,
he got one.
and it was early. Again, like there's obviously a lot of strength here. The neutral game's really good. Hit confirms have been great. But he's put himself into some of these situations that have not worked out. Those have been self-owned.
I think a lot of it is kind of overthinking the situation, right? Thinking he's already conditioned somebody and going into these movements a little bit too far out. Oh, boy. Speaking of which, I'll explain it later. But either way, I want to see more. There we go. Bring it back to the fundamentals a little bit. Bring it back to phase 1. Keep it very simple, very clean, tight at least.
Oh, yeah.
And then start going into phase 2 where you can start taking those extra steps. Then start getting them afraid of your frame traps.
Missed one there.
Oh, that was actually very unfortunate. You saw the light come out, the light kick, I should say, and still got clipped with the EX. Ooh, okay. Here comes Eyedrop now.
Working on stun. Very close. Mandrake's going to use this. He gets corner. Oh, he's pressuring. He's scary. He's got super lined up.
Oh,
Eyedrop knows that he does not want to let that happen. Gotta block now. Overhead works. It's not in range.
And the trigger activation there from Eyedrop. But is he going to try to dash his way in? Mandrake knows it too. He's using that medium kick specifically for that movement option. When in doubt, bust it out with the EX Chariot tackle. Why not? You have 3 bars. Just go for it.
And that may be a sign, too, that he's comfortable on defense because he would have been at -2 versus Eyedrop. Still stuck in a corner, though. Eyedrop finds his way out.
There we go. Yeah, a little bit more intricate with that standing short, trying to figure out what the movement or what the option is going to be against Mandrake. -2 scenario. Does get a hit. No conversion. Oh.
And trying to enforce the situation. And you know, if nothing else, for Mandrake, he's out of the corner.
Big confirm. That was actually mad far. That Tenko could have whiffed.
That was legit. Unfortunately, not getting that one there. And he is out of there. Okay. And he's still a big threat. He's just about to get super as well.
Oh,
no!
That's the time where he whiffed. Mandrake alive now.
One more mix-up. Maybe 2.
Oh, that would have been it, actually.
If that had been just a slightly faster crouching fierce, but Eyedrop's safe. He's got a life lead. He's got a ton of resources. Can he get there in time?
No, he's not. It's fine. It is fine. Eyedrop manages to salvage that situation, gets hit with the metallic sphere, immediately fires back with a low forward Gudenken. Doesn't even need to spend the critical art, just within range. I'm liking this. I'm liking this back and forth. Don't let it be free. But man, that was a very close set still.
Again, you're seeing a lot of very strong stuff come out of Eyedrop when he really tightens it up, when he's not giving into some of those sort of desires to press too hard or to take an unadvisable mix-up, that kind of stuff. He has really, really strong mid-range and footsies and hit confirms.
Oh, Big whiff punish there from Mandrake. And I say it's big because, again, he gets to establish a lot of dominance a lot earlier than usual, which is going to be great because carrying the corner, you're not going to have as much fear as, you know, from these low medium kicks, from these confirms as much.
Maybe hunting for a backdash there. That's what we saw last time from Eyedrop. Back to this neutral game.
Oh!
Gill's enjoying himself back there.
Hurts.
Eyedrop slowly makes that bulldog approach.
Oh.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, keeps the movement option in lock, or at least punishes it. Mandrake now in trouble. Here comes the Aegis Reflector. What's the defensive option? V-break. Excellent choice now. Oh, excellent start for Eyedrop into game 3. A lot cleaner than we've seen in his previous performances. I will say he was in a bit of a dangerous situation against Mandrake in the corner, but managed to recover successfully. Big whiff punish now. Can't stop saying big because these hits are dynamite.
Eyedrop's got to approach again, but look, he's been able to do that. Yes, he finds it yet again. As the set goes on, we're seeing more and more of that.
Ooh.
A little bit too far away for a conversion was Mandrake. Again, puts himself in plus frames, and again, Eyedrop with the backdash. It's been his solution a few times. Hasn't always worked, but that's been what he's looking for.
And I like Mandrake kind of testing the waters with the Metallic Sphere, getting us a little bit of information as to what Eyedrop is willing to risk in neutral within that range. And it's going to be the sweep into the activation. Again, checking the movement against Mandrake. Full critical art, a little bit of extra damage, or a little bit of extra scaling, I feel like, from that Ender.
Not going to be quite enough. Not going to be quite enough. And now this is a loaded Urian on the other side of the screen. He's got the full red bar, and instead it's crouching jab in time from Eyedrop. What a reaction as that dude scoots towards you. You can press a button. And he knew it. If that had been blocked,
it would have led to mirror.
It definitely would have led to mirror. Boy, very, very fast reactions. Knew exactly what to look for as well. It's not just about having fast reactions, but also about knowing what to expect and then being able to react to it as well. So it's both sides of those, and that's Eyedrop going up 2-1.
I got nervous. I'm not going to lie. I saw that Gudenken finisher. He went for the down route, and I was wondering to myself, if he had just gone fully committed into like the palm strike into critical art, I wonder if it would have killed. But either way, manages to salvage his best of that situation. Mandrake now pushing into the corner. No whiff punishes there. Instead, a sweep comes out and punishing from Eyedrop. Ooh.
No button there. We had seen that work before. Yeah, Eyedrop's there in time. Got a chance for pressure as he dips and doodles his way in.
Dips and doodles, huh? I
think that's what it looks like to me.
He dipped and doodled actually for the dash. Ooh.
Oh, challenge now rather than backdash. I like it. I like it.
Again, that is the third consecutive time he's gone into that sequence and has caught Mandrake after a light trying to move out of the way. Eyedrop is now keeping it so consistent. And as we mentioned earlier, just keep it down to phase 1. Get those frame traps going a little bit. Or sorry, get down to the basics first before you go into the more intricate frame traps, I should say.
Well, he's at match point. As the set has gone on, he's looked stronger and stronger.
And trying to contest after that standing heavy punch is very much so ill-advised, right? Because if you trade with that Orochi, you're taking hella damage. Ooh. I like that. Just out of the way for the knee drop in anticipation. Does get the full punish, and now forward throw back into the similar situation Mandrake was just previously at. Here comes the trigger.
Uh-oh!
Oh, no!
Things could be different. Eyedrop has another one of those bars. He's looking to escape yet again.
Gonna be a little bit
close
nasty
on life. It's still a little bit of a lead for Eyedrop, who takes the challenge, and again, it doesn't work out. One more mix-up from Mandrake as he's now with plus frames knees again, and over the sweep activation. Mandrake, what a round to close it out right there. As soon as his activation got going, he was there to party.
That was a sheer call out too. He knew full well Eyedrop was gonna go for that sweep, taking advantage of that big recovery. Oh, what a time to press the button. Good contest there against the command dash. Buffering away, and man, Mandrake.
Bulldog Karen, who can hit confirm everything, is so scary.
There was an attempt there from Eyedrop. Okay, EX% Hawk, get off of me. Mandrake still hasn't been able to get started, but trying to play the neutral game more so than steal his way in or like move his way in. You see it. You see it right there. Mandrake is not trying to overstep his boundaries. He's just trying to play the normals game and does find the mark. Excellent.
He's doing great on it. In the pressure yet again. Eyedrop holding on to that red bar now. There in time, the reactions. Now, just like that, he can get corner. We'll see what he can do. It's V meter on Mandrake. Saidu finds the hit. He just gets in there.
You had to feel it in your bones.
Well, Eyedrop had felt it in his bones in the previous game. He did feel that in his bones, and he backed off and had the down jab to counter hit it on its way over. This time, he just wasn't far enough away for that to even be an option. He was a little bit closer than that. The first hit was there instead.
I would have loved to see anything preemptive. Just, I mean, sure, you could just block it, but that would be sick. If just crouching medium punch, that would be great.
It wasn't there in time. It's
neutral jump even. That would have been fantastic. But it is hard to predict. Mandrake's done a great job of keeping that option very ambiguous.
Ooh, Eyedrop stuck in the corner, close to stun. Mandrake hoping to see a button come out from Eyedrop. Eyedrop, perfect timing.
Oh, man, he sees those anti-airs a lot clearer now. His name is Eyedrop after all, and here comes, okay, the throw is tech. Mandrake still trying to fight his way out of the corner. Gudenken no longer a threat.
Those individual hits actually added up there for Mandrake, but talk about adding up, though. Karen, if she finds one more hit, can take the round. Oh, Mandrake!
Boy.
Can he take on this?
Dead. No?
Not quite, not quite.
Oh, what in the world? You punch into the mirror. Come on, man. That's not how you face your fears. You got to sit back, relax, and enjoy your time. You can't just be so antsy. You got to stay yourself down.
We've seen it 2 times from Eyedrop, and now it's match point for Mandrake. Eyedrop's got to recover again. This stuff that he has control over, we've seen a lot of strength. Just got to not put himself in those gnarly situations.
A little bit of an oopsie there.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Here's a great whip punish, though, as he's going to get pressure out of it. He's got some nice movement. Oh, yeah.
Man, the knee drop out of the corner. Such a good call out. This new Eyedrop again wanted to go for the trigger. You trying to go for the fancy stuff for Senhao reset. You're going to pay dearly for it. Here comes the man in the mirror yet again. Do not make a deal with this man. The reset is there. Forward throw now. The threat of the second mirror is still viable. Oh, my God. David, he ran into it again. The 3rd time, and it cost him his tournament life. Mandrake, 2 rounds straight in the final game.
Again, I mean, there's so much clear strength on Eyedrop's side when it comes to a lot of his game, right? But he put himself into bad situations, or when he found himself in a couple of bad situations, he chose an option that just did not at all work out. That was, I think, a significant tale of why that ends up being 3-2 in favor of Mandrake, who moves on. And here's a look at the result. Mandrake there in losers semifinal, and Eyedrop is out of there.
It was an impressive run, I will say, for Eyedrop. We got to see a lot more of that potential. We've seen the skills of adaptation there within that matchup, but just the clutch factor was more in favor of Mandrake today.
Well, Eyedrop, again, the overheads that he went back to, you know, anyway, you get the point, but I would love to see more from Eyedrop. Obviously, we get to see him pretty regularly when it comes to other weekly stuff, but I'd love to see him back in a big situation like this, because I feel like this is something that you learn the lesson from on how to approach it in the future, and I'm sure that he'll be back big time when it comes to that.
He's absolutely a strong player. He possesses all the qualities of one. He just needs to make the right decisions now. I mean, as hard as that, as weird as that sounds, like he just needs to guess right. It's not necessarily guessing right. It's not. In that sequence, it's like, you know when to hedge your bets in those moments. Like, obviously, you do not want to press a button towards mirror.
Hey, man, if it's third strike, you can press a button towards the mirror.
You could. But Co-op Cup's not happening right now.
No.
So it's a whole different story. It's a different kind of season. You cannot press any buttons, unfortunately, towards mirror. RIP. But yeah, Eyedrop, again, does have the potential to make it even further on. We saw that just now, but fortunately for Mandrake, being the better player, moving on into Space Boy and Arturo Sanchez, a.k.a. NYC Furby. That's going to be the match to anticipate, because this is indeed the Double Jeopardy match.
Yes, that's right. Again, Arturo lost in his first match. It's not actually his first if you check the bracket, but his opponent took a DQ. And so the very first one that he played was versus Space Boy. And Space Boy won. It was 2-1. Okay, it wasn't a destruction. It was 2-1. And you were telling me that you saw a little bit of that.
Well, I was watching it through Cien's stream. Cien was kind of dissecting the matchup. And immediately as the rounds went, Space Boy had the right call out towards Arturo. There's just one clip where he does back fierce preemptively, catches a limb off of Dalsim, uses V-Skill to follow up, gets a full damage combo into the corner, at 4 seconds of the round.
Hey.
That's the kind of aggression we might actually see again from Spaceboy if he makes the right call out. Or will Arturo kind of pull back on the normals at the start of the game? We'll see what happens. Let's see which Spaceboy comes into play. And that was great. Just going in for the jump in just to test those waters out a little bit.
Honestly, not many people have looked better than Art in this top 16 so far. He's been killing everybody he's played against. But very quickly, it wasn't 4 seconds, but very quickly, it's Spaceboy who's got the corner.
We mentioned the volatility of this particular matchup, and we're seeing it in full effect now. Spaceboy just smothering and covering NYC Furby with throws.
Really, what a great read by Spaceboy.
What in the...
Okay.
She's not sorry one bit.
No.
Not at all. Unapologetic. Sorry, not sorry.
Be proud of that. Looking for that fierce, as you were talking about. Just floating over. It's a skill win from him.
Ooh.
Okay. Wasn't so much about the mix-up, but we got getting out of the corner.
Oh. Stuffing out the fireball attempt and now just hovering over it. Arturo doing a great job in neutral, just keeping Spaceboy deterred and guessing what normals are going to come out, right? We've seen Spaceboy willing to test it out with the back heavy punch. Oh, that was dangerous.
Yeah, if you whiff those buttons, that is danger. You do not want to whiff. At least the reset there. Over. Spaceboy eats EX Gale, which has a gigantic hitbox, way bigger than it's animated to, as Sakura was on top and took the hit anyway.
A little fun fact, I didn't realize the characters actually freeze and everything else remains normal. The bats were like hovering around the tombstone over there.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. Very interesting to see. I thought all time stopped when the KO happens, but that's not the case. Anyways, Spaceboy, yeah, I like that. Call out from Arturo. It's very smart.
Okay, well, Spaceboy's right back in there. That was probably supposed to have been the reversal, and instead now Spaceboy's here.
Oh, boy.
Offering trick and a treat.
Oh, checking the legs. No, that was unfortunate. Spaceboy was ready for an anti-air, but still got clipped with the EX Yoga Gale.
He's
what
still very, very dangerous, though. Super's there. And he confirms going to do it, and Arturo guesses right with the sniper. It's the overhead to end it. Game 1 goes to him. Very hard fought on both sides.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We're seeing Spaceboy kind of having a little bit of trouble trying to close the gap against Arturo, but when he does, it's been a good amount of damage. I will say Arturo has had such fantastic defense in recovering from those situations and not letting the momentum get to him. He's not getting steamrolled as hard as he was into going into the loser's bracket from what we saw earlier. Or at least from what the stream showed on Sen's stream. Shout out to Sen, by the way. We appreciate you.
Again, Arturo has not lost a game in top 16. It's been very strong.
Yeah, and you mentioned just hyper-focus on the kind of strategies Spaceboy wants to employ, right? You're seeing, look at that, man.
I love the idea by Spaceboy.
So smart.
So Art has costed about half life from Spaceboy, as Spaceboy might get the corner out of it. Not quite, not even.
Yeah, just building all of that meter, or should be just that one bar to find himself a readjustment. That was so pivotal for Arturo, and such a smart decision, because now he gets to play with so much more estate and not find himself locked down. Spaceboy still stuck in phase 1 of this matchup.
Yeah, he needs to get in. Running out of time. The air grab does not lead the pressure.
Man.
And then you get to move again, and there it is. Interesting that he may have had plus frames on that. It was a pretty high jump here since he was falling, but Spaceboy's button didn't get there in time, whatever it was.
I will say, like, it hit towards the later end of the active frames as well, so it was kind of funky. I thought it was going to be Spaceboy's turn, to be honest.
Okay, Spaceboy. Huge out of the V skill means the float.
What a nerf.
You're being serious?
We'll see. Spaceboy now with the offensive pressure. Oh, what a time to use that reversal as well. That was just so plus. Forward throw now. It's going to be all Arturo. Not going up close for pressure.
Not at all. Not at all. No risk. Very risk-averse play style.
Ooh. Check out the movement as an option. And very big awareness to hold that fireball. But still, Arturo doing a fantastic job of trying to get away from Spaceboy. Cooking him up now. One touch away. This is going to be really tough for Spaceboy to make this climb.
And he hit.
Oh,
his life is coming back enough that maybe overhead low is not going to be the problem. Never mind. The medium's knocking on the door. It's Art up 2-0.
even that as an option is a little bit questionable because it could have traded with the normal or any sort of normal that Dawson would have thrown out. Like, at least the mediums, right? From the speed.
It could have. It could have.
The speed that he was pressing them at, like back to back to back mediums, whether it was medium kick or medium punch. I feel like that trade would have been towards Dawson anyway.
I think it's just a case of Space Boy feeling as if he had been running out of options, trying to choose something.
Sure.
Maybe no great ones available at the time.
That's fair. That is fair.
And Art has not given many clear opportunities to approach. Art's been really solid defensively.
Tighter than Fort Knox right now. The amount of awareness he has throughout the entirety of the screen and the normal suppress, just completely reacting to Space Boy strategies, has been phenomenal. I'm telling you, he's playing out of his mind right now. And it may not look like it. This looks very simple, but there's so much mental information being gathered.
Well, once you're at this particular spot, then you can basically press buttons. Question is, how do you get there and how do you maintain that spot?
Right. Oh. Get out of there.
Did not even want that situation. Art very, very risk averse again, just staying away as best he can.
Even after a -2, he's like, nah, you're too close.
Right, right.
I don't want it.
Didn't even want that risk.
Let's get a back throw now. Space Boy finding a lot more success up close. Now at a life lead, but here comes Arturo making them cook. What's the situation? Yeah, dissipating the fireball with your own. Very smart decision to jump in, find success. Not gonna go for the critical art. Ah, man, we're starting to see a little bit of the cracks from Arturo. This man does bleed.
It worked out for Space Boy. Oh, here's exactly what you talked about.
Not
Look at
again.
the damage.
4 seconds in already. No, not again. It's exactly how he started off one of his rounds that got him into loser's bracket. Okay, big turnaround. Schmick City.
Stun on next hit.
Man, that's far. The snipe can kill. Oh, boy. He's just threading the needle when it comes to movement.
Probably get out of there. Yeah, did not even want to allow the activation. And we're back to the situation where Art can be strong, where he can control. Hold on. It wasn't quite Visco. That's what Space Boy was hoping for.
That could have been dangerous. That could have been a raw activation earlier with the chase down. Don't get clipped, and I like the idea behind it. Try to catch a preemptive normal.
Yeah.
Just wasn't the right read at the right time. But we do understand the method behind it. NYC Furby now at match point. Damn! What was that? 4 seconds again? Didn't even use the same sequence.
Yeah, but he was in there 4 seconds before last round, and he ended up losing it.
True. Very true. And again, just harassing with -2 situations, but so far out. Excellent reversal now to get away from the fire, but for how long, David?
Not for long. Well, that's not such a big deal for Space Boy, though.
No whiff punish, just barely off the mark. And I do like the presence of mind from Arturo. Like, even if he's up close, something gets blocked, he's immediately backing out instead of trying to contest with like a back medium kick.
Dude, oh, it was 150 damage easy on that anti-air with all the gray life.
The gray life.
Space Boy finding the jump in. Okay, so it's not going to go down without a fight. It wasn't 3-0. It's 2-1. And as things go on, in that game, I mean, Art battled back really well in the second round. Other than that, though, round number 1 goes to Space Boy. Round number 3 goes to Space Boy. And the beginning of round number 2 was very strongly in Space Boy's favor. Art just battled out and managed to take it out in the end. But we saw a bunch of situations. He had jump-ins. He had counter pokes that led to corner very quickly a couple of times. So we're seeing more from Space Boy.
Man, taking up a lot of space already on the ground, by the way, just using that walk speed of Sakura's to get up in NYC Furby's face. And there it is, the medium's coming back out to play for Arturo.
Interesting. Space Boy's got the corner on the strength of the sick bet.
What a call out. But not even trying to contest the drill on the way down. I feel like there is a normal that he can at least trade off with. Taking his turn immediately after, but he's still in close quarters. Oh, that could have been dangerous. No V reversal this time. Looking for the mysteries of Yoga instead. Oh.
It's the activation, and now Space Boy understands that he cannot get touched, so time to just make it happen. That's going to counter. Yeah, it's going to clash, I should say.
Oh, and still, that was also within range of the snipe, so I get it.
Yes.
I totally get that. That was just a checkmate scenario for Arturo, or at least guess the game, which it was.
First one we've seen of those. And first one in this set we've seen of that as well. For NYC Furby, who's got the life lead and now calls it out.
Smart decision to check the Yoga Flame with EX uppercut. Oh boy, nothing behind that one, but not too big of a punish, not bad at all.
Oh, here we go. Space Boy. Yes, again, nothing out of that.
Yeah, can't dash up. No sense of Oki afterwards.
Just hoping for something now.
And it's all art going up into your face. Exactly. I feel like the last thing Space Boy would have expected. He thought he was going to go play the full screen game with that life lead, but no. Pulls out the unexpected and moves on and eliminating Space Boy. Let's go, NYC Furby. Okay.
Again, that was the run back. Space Boy sent NYC Furby 2 losers very early in the tournament. And now it's Art putting Space Boy out of the tournament after all. So next round will be Mandrake, who we saw eat Eyedrop before, and his opponent will be NYC Furby, BCTSMA, Arturo Sanchez. Still moving on into that top 4.
But before we get into that, we are going to hit a break. But take a look at up above, the winners finals. That's going to be happening very soon. You should be excited for that. We definitely are. We highly encourage you guys to get as many refreshments and snacks as possible because there's so much more happening, especially in the realm of Street Fighter V, right? We have so many tournaments going on with the CPT, obviously right now, DreamHack as well. But with PlayStation, go to PlayStation or compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation Tournament's Summer Win-a-thon event going on until August 31st in the US as well as Canada. You can tell I'm very excited about it because I flubbed that up at least 3 times. Again, so many opportunities. Compete.playstation.com.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know that Capcom has authorized a mobile game called Street Fighter Duel. It's available for download in China, and it's going to come to everybody else pretty soon. It's got a bunch of the classic characters. It's got a bunch of very interesting fighting elements. It's got innovative multiplayer combos. It's got a variety of PvP gameplay and tournaments and in-game rewards. Check it out. Download Street Fighter Duel. It's on mobile. Join the journey with millions of players to find out who the best fighter is. Let's head to break again. Everybody watching will have to stick around, please, because Winners Finals is going to be coming up. 2 of the strongest players on Earth are going to be duking it out very shortly.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand after defeat. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
Back after the ultimate improvement. Father! Psycho! What's up, what's up? See ya. Psycho! The legend has now begun. Burn this in your memory! Psycho! Whoosha! To honor Father, Big Bro will do his best.
outsiders have to strike out on their own.
Let's do this.
It's the winners finals that many of us had predicted and that all of us have been waiting for. Coming up now at CPT NA East, number 1, it will of course be Punk versus Idom. I'm Ultra David in here with Vicious.
I can't get the smile off my face, David. I've been thinking about this ever since we went into this top 16. It is the match we've all been looking forward to be quite blunt, to be quite frank with you all. This is going to be an explosive match between Punk and Idom. I wish we had a quote before going into it to see what they had to say about each other. But fact of the matter is, we're just going to go into a slugfest. Punk could pick any character world he wants, but this one, for this specific match, it is indeed going to be the Karen choice versus Idom, who might be going with either or, Laura or Poison.
Well, of course, they've had a lot of big matches against each other, talking about the Capcom Cup Finals, for example, back in 2019, talking about tons of matches when it comes to NLBC and other matches like that. And it's just been back and forth very consistently. But, you know, they did play each other recently. Can you talk about what happened there?
Even before then, when you saw the quotes that Punk had when it came to Street Fighter League, he was talking about that exact moment where he dominated Idom.
SFL, yeah, that's
right? He made that statement known. He's like, when it comes to offline, see me. These are my results. Fact of the matter is, these are different results as what transpired at the Intel World Open, where Idom actually took it down against Punk using that poison. So it's a whole different atmosphere when it comes to online play, but will it be different this time around? As it stands, Punk wins offline, Idom wins online. At least within the last 2 years.
I'm not sure.
Capcom Cup, not so much. Right? But at least in 2020, Punk... No, actually, no. That's not true anyway.
Honestly, I think the best you can say
Give me
is
a coin
that
right
it's been
now.
back and forth. Yeah, I think that's about the best that you can say about that. When they played at the Intel World Open, what was the character matchup? It was Poison, and then who for Punk?
Karen.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's what we had talked about before this top 8, right? Top 16, we saw the Vega from Punk, and we expected that it would be Karen moving forward just because the stakes are high. Just to clarify as well, the last actual Capcom Cup that anybody won was when Idom won it, right? And the rule in the past had been that person who wins Capcom Cup gets free entry into the Capcom Cup of the following year.
Traditionally.
Well, it's not actually the following year, and also things have been weird anyway, so that's not the case, right? Idom does need to win to actually get his spot in Capcom Cup. That's the case for everybody still in this tournament, the whole top 4.
So we'll see how it transpires here. It's going to be the winners finals between Punk and Idom. And it's going to be very exciting to see. This is going to, this matchup alone, we're not going to hear the end of it. Without a doubt, no matter what the outcome is, we're not going to hear the end of it. And that's exactly what we're here for. It's exactly what we're looking forward to. It is going to be Poison versus Karen.
Round one.
Stakes are high and have already begun. And for Idom, this is really about maintaining the control of where his opponent is and what she can do just outside of sweep range. That down fierce is definitely punishable if you got something long enough.
Plus frames on the heart rate, checking with the lights as well to see if movement is going to be the option. Ooh!
Talk about reactions right there.
Oh, the big trade. Remember we talked about that earlier. It's ill-advised to contest the Orochi after a stand heavy punch, and that's exactly what Punk did afterwards. Threw in the stand heavy punch,
come on!
dashed up in there, making sure the peripherals are in check. I like that. David, he's making sure the down is still working because you need it for the Orochi input specifically.
That's true. That's true. It's very important. Has demonstrated its effectiveness. It's in there. Plus frames yet again. And here's Idom. Plus frame, really. As Punk right back into the thick of things on, again, that Bulldog approach. In which any button can turn into legit damage, into corner carry, into Oki.
Oh. And I like the patience there from Idom to kind of check to see what Punk is going to do after a heart rate, but here comes the knockdown and the Gurren Ken. Doesn't even want to handle it.
No.
He wants to create some space for himself and does so successfully. Idom now backing away. A lot more space to control with.
Dude, was that a whip punish versus down fierce from afar? That was fantastic by Punk.
Not letting anything
And he's
slide.
outside of that range yet again, just in case there was something else.
But immediately goes right back into that range within a blink of an eye and the slightly delayed Tenko to set himself up for the perfectly timed critical art. Boom! That's going to be more than enough. Shoutouts to Rip for that one. But again, 2 rounds straight from Punk.
And not just 2 rounds straight, but able to hunt down consistently and be where he wants to be on screen and react. He reacted to Idom trying to jump out with jump into target combo into maintain corner control. He reacted to crouching fierce, outranging it with command dash into Tenko. Like, that was amazing reactions. That's not normal hit confirm stuff. That was beautiful with punish.
Never has been a normal dude. Punk the god for a reason. Above human standards. Here we go. Idom now. Oh, yeah! You thought you could press a button. Man got a crush counter after that. Still within range. Very impressive. Woo! A big difference in terms of offense from Idom.
Wow. And the setup here, still going to be cooking. Yeah, Idom is still have total control. And Punk never got anything going as Idom had control from instant 1 into pressure, into death so quickly.
We're seeing the back and forth already establishing the first round into game 2. Idom now going back to the lights after the 2 other options have been exercised from Punk that we saw from the previous rounds, as, you know, if you were paying attention. And now, that's huge. What a big bet.
Close to stun. Grab could do it, actually. If that even comes up, Idom feigns it. Idom. Punk's out of risk for that at least. But there's Idom. What a confirm!
Plus frames again. V-reversal, excellent timing. Doesn't want to be a part of that as well. Needs to keep it alive. The chase down! Spending a lot of bar for that one. If he gets a stun sequence, he can actually win. Oh, okay. I take it back. V-reversal, getting rid of all of that. Idom knew the win condition. Very smart from Idom, keeping it patient. Jump short.
And jump early short as well.
That's exactly it. Yeah, he could have got taken down with the target combo. We've seen Punk more than capable to chase that down and react to it.
Yeah, no, very, very interesting. And we didn't expect anything less than this going down basically to the wire right now.
Yeah, that's what we
how
want.
It looks, yeah.
Give it to us, please. All tied up here, 1-1. Big adaptations made from Idom. But Punk, you already know he's got so much left in the tank.
Oh, Punk jumped at the right time. I love it.
How does he know this? Forward throw now. A little bit of a delay there. Heavy punch, doesn't want to be contested. Raw activation, he caught him backdashing. With what? Nothing, but really, like, that raw activation shouldn't have gone away with it. But here comes Domination cooking up Punk.
Still has another on that V-trigger. Still has an EX as well, maybe what he was scheming for at that moment.
And just look at the nuisance Idom can be with a medium whip. And the jump in, finds it, threads the needle yet again. The carry, the stun is also racking up, but I feel like Death is going to be coming through without it.
The 3-framer to the rescue again. And finally Punk's done with it, but hold on, it's not quite over. And Idom has been able to get a lot of hits in this situation here. Punk's playing patiently. Remember him whiff punishing on that crouching fierce. We have not seen a crouching fierce as a result from Idom.
Unless he wants to force Punk to spend the meter going into the next match, but look at the amount of meter he's spending.
Yeah, I mean, he's building a ton.
Sorry.
20 seconds left. He's got 19 to continue building bar if Punk allows it.
Oh!
Dashed up first, right? Does not want to let that whiff, and Punk was still aware enough. It traded, but that's totally fine for him.
Imagine if he had done just one more heart rate medium to chip just a little bit more. Going into the double KO, it would have been dead even for at least the meter. Heart rate now to get things started back, though. We haven't seen that option yet from Idom. No confirm. Very rare miss indeed from Punk.
Right, Punk out of there. Almost got super ready to go. God, the range that Punk hangs out at is so consistently good. Oh!
Too far. Even with the pushback on counter hit. Plus frames, get out of here. Push more towards the corner. Here comes the activation now from Idom, enforcing that heart rate a little bit more to kind of tempt Punk to go in at his own risk.
Tried to actually get away from that reversal range. Idom wasn't quite able to do it.
Oh!
Punk can kill on the next hit. Idom's in big trouble.
Oh, one more opening, but now it's going to be kind of tough. The big whiff punish from Punk. I thought it was going to be tough, but nah, he was chilling in that corner forever and a day with all the meters. Well, it was looking great for Idom, at least in that last sequence, but just overstepped his boundaries just ever so slightly, and Punk not ever missing that margin, that very small margin to punish. He's always hitting that.
Always there for that. You can be very sure of that.
Looking absolutely terrifying going into the
character
select, possibly. They are gearing back up into the lobby. Punk, again, with a fantastic showing, 2-1 thus far. But, I mean, it's no knock against Idom. Also trying to keep it contained, at least in the neutral game. Putting a lot of pressure on the mental stack of Punk. Trying to really give him that maze to go through, the maze of whips to figure out and decipher when to actually close the gap. But it's been very back and forth, obviously, as expected here in the winners finals.
Yeah, and really what you need is just a couple of big entrances when you're Karen and can hit confirm and get the big damage that she can get. So you know that you don't necessarily need to be forcing the situation constantly. And Punk, again, threaded that needle very, very well. So is it Laura? It is Laura for Idom. These two characters, of course, the ones that he's known for, the best Laura on Earth, comes into winners finals now.
Had enough games to play to get himself acclimated with how Punk has been playing, but to be honest, there's no real adapting to Punk, I feel like. You have to play in that moment.
Here's this range, and this is a range now that's clearly less comfortable. Right, Poison can be outside of this. Laura's got to hang out here. This is where she gets started as well, at least oftentimes. Oh. And Punk is so prepared, can react as we just saw, can hit confirm anything that's errant.
Oh. No whip punish there from Idom, but Punk was just testing the waters out with a low medium kick, which is and none on the side of Punk either.
The threat there. Okay.
Oh, and the delayed back throw. Punk got the better of that. Oh boy, it's party time though.
Look at the defense on Punk's side. He waits to see a button he knows he can be reversal, and he's out of there.
More than enough damage to kill. Oh my God, he's just so optimal, David. Looking at match point, spending both bars. Why not? Getting all that damage. You have to seal the deal. This is going to be huge for Punk. If he could take down Idom right here and now, giving him a bigger advantage into grand finals.
Still in this spot. Idom ultimately able to get something started last time, but yeah, again, Punk. Aha!
Woo.
Here's the pressure now. Idom got the corner. No the reversal this time. What a whiff punish by Punk! Way out of the corner now. Safe from that. Big damage. And now he's maybe a hit away from getting stunned.
Oh.
Idom holding on to that trigger. Yeah.
Ooh-wee!
He's so worried about DP. 3 times he has held out for fear.
What? That was actually messed up.
That's so sick.
That was nasty.
Wow. That was super cool.
Did you see that?
I sure did.
Enticing a reaction, or sorry, trying to get a reaction out of somebody with a whiff throw and having them run into the thunderclap like that? That is ridiculous.
Imagine the bravery of throwing a thunderclap in that range right there. Ah! Punk, yes!
Dash up 2 times over. Big tech from the side of Idom, just resetting the situation. But Punk getting the most of it as Karen with the normals he can harass with.
That's the goal. He's doing a great job of it right now.
Oh, this is huge.
No command grabs yet. Punk's defense has been impeccable. She's out of there, but still, look, maintaining corner. Still slowly pushing Idom back.
Oh!
Uh-oh. You know how fast things can fall apart versus Idom.
Oh, that EX Thunderclap. And there's so many.
So fast versus Idom. They can just fall apart.
So many medium punches just harassing that normal, trying to figure out when you want to press the button. Then the EX Thunderclap comes out. Then you're even more in trouble with the plus frames. It's just been a mess. It's been an absolute mess that Idom is putting Punk through, and it's down to the final game. We get to see more.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm excited for it. I'm just like, damn. Oh boy.
And reset though, and Punk takes advantage. His awareness is always on point. And Idom's in trouble.
Very early in the start, Meng abusing that walk speed, getting in and out of the range as he so pleases. The reset, the jab reset at that from the just frame Tenko to apply even more pressure, more sword towards the guessing game, excuse me.
Even outside of forward fierce, you know Idom wants to activate at that point. That is what he needs to get things going, and Punk was outside of that. Aware, whiff punish was ready, puts himself at match point to go into grand finals.
But you see down below, we have 2 potential EX Thunderclaps. That's one to get himself started.
It's still has not been command grab. Punk on the chase.
Forward throw now, has to get back
on
in
the
there.
chase.
2 times over. Oh, the stun, not going to spend it, making sure that, the peripherals are more than working. Orochi into critical art. That's going to be more than enough.
Panda Punk moving on into grand finals on winner's side. We knew it was going to go down to the final game. But, honestly, in that last round, most of that last game, that was really Punk controlling things. It was him, again, with that Bulldog, hunting a little bit, looking for those hit confirms, whiff punishing in those few situations when they came up, which weren't even that many. It was mostly just Punk finding those hits, getting very quickly into pressure for himself, and having fantastic mix-ups. I also do want to point out how good his defense was, because there were situations when Laura had good pressure opportunities against him, when there could have been, who knows, right? All the things that Laura can do. And Punk did block out a bunch of those situations, did backdash out of a regular grab once. That, I think, was also
delayed
key.
grab as well, EX for Senha. You know what's wild is the defensive choices that he made against Idom were actually from the same exact setups, though. We haven't seen like the explosive mix-ups that we were usually used to from Idom, though, right? A lot of those defensive options came from pretty much the same kind of stuff. I don't know.
I mean, Idom's got to make the same risks that everybody else does, right? Do you want to pressure in this instance, or are you looking for wake-up DP, or like whatever it is?
Yeah.
And usually, I think one of the big hallmarks of his play is that he's fantastic at scoping out what he needs at any one time and like what solves a person's defense. He's amazing at doing that. And in this instance, he had opportunities. He had a few opportunities, and did take a game in doing so. But in other situations, he did not. And more often, it did not work out for him, even when he was on offense. That's not something that we're accustomed to seeing. So shout-outs to Punk for that excellent, excellent display. Again, he's moving on into the grand finals.
As much as we would love to see that kind of explosive match happen again, we still have Mandrake versus NYC Furby, which is just as exciting, right? Again, these two are going to be gearing up against each other to see who faces off against Idom, and that's going to be pretty huge because Idom is coming in straight from taking that L, and he's going to be fired up. Mandrake versus Arturo Young Art. Young Art has been pretty much decimating the competition since his inception, since he's been put into the losers bracket by Spaceboy. In fact, got his revenge 3-1 against Spaceboy. On the other hand, Mandrake has been keeping it pretty close in majority of his matches, 3-2 all the way around in the loser side.
Let's talk about Art's path into the situation. So like you said, he lost very early in his first match. Here's what happened in losers. He beat RU 2-0, he beat Fugu 2-0, he beat Jarbs 2-0. That's to make it into the top 16. He then beat Delta Red Sis 2-0. Then he beat Child 233 2-0. You may be getting the point of this theme. Then he beat Kami 3-0. Then he beat Spaceboy as well in a dominant fashion 3-1. So he's only lost a single game since losing in round number 1, which is a pretty remarkable run so far. And it's not like that was an easy path. Some of those names I mentioned are super good players.
On the other hand, Mandrake, again, keeping it rather close, right? We see how long it takes for him to get these Ws, but they get pretty convincing. He's been adapting to each and every one of these rounds, and that's the kind of matchup we're excited for. I want to see who is going to be the one to really put the obstacle in front of NYC Furby, or even take him down and bring it close. I think Mandrake is more than capable of being the man to do so.
Of course.
Idom, if that happens, we've seen it go down. Sabin has actually given Idom a run for his money over in NLBC as well, so could go either way. We'll see what happens. Mandrake versus NYC Furby. We'll see who's going to be moving on to face off against the former Capcom Cup champion.
Art's won the last couple times. They met up at NLBC Online. But who knows what's happened since. A little bit too far out. Mandrake actually had down strong. He knew what could have come up, but too far for that as well.
And what a time to teleport out, but still contesting afterwards. Mandrake chasing him down, hounding him down, if you will.
Yeah, he's moving real fast. V-skill number 2 comes off for Art. He can get that bouncing fireball. Here's what he was looking for before. He can also get big plus frames and on hit or block. Oh, you know what Mandrake wants. You know what he's looking for. Looking for that activation point. He's
going to have to find it a different way. It might come through ways of low, medium kick. Not yet, though. Man, Arturo has kept it tight so that he doesn't even get to let go of the Aegis Reflector.
Look at that.
The control from Young Art. Ah, I'm loving it.
Here's Mandrake finding his way. Those whip punishes are very consistent by NYC Furby. Oh!
That was funky. A little bit of a mishap. NYC Furby's going to take full control of that. That's going to be just fine. No whip punishes there, but still, there's a whip punish, or at least a stop towards that chariot tackle.
Taking the opportunity. Oh, nice timing by Mandrake. It's a big opportunity for him. And he capitalizes beautifully.
Ooh. Does get a whiff punish, but nothing of it. Just get a counter hit, crouching medium punch, forward throw now. One more hit, and is the counter hit. And that was kind of funky because, you know, Coral Punch being -2, you would think you'd be able to fire off, but...
Might have been forward strong fierce, you never know.
Could have been, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. He was worried about that spacing. Mandrake missed spaces. Here's another big chance for him. Oh, no! Last time he capitalized, he's not here, but this time he's in the corner. He's doing what he needs to do.
Oh, yeah, Spartan Bomb in the corner. Checking with it. Man, fancy footwork here from Mandrake. Oh, that could have been huge. That could have been at least getting NYC Furby towards stun, but now Mandrake plus frames on the knee drop.
Saves onto the bar. Great block.
Here comes the setup that he was afraid of, but so far, excellent defense. Now,
choosing pressure. Choosing pressure again, and Great Life is mounting.
Oh boy, with the big mirror to contest in neutral, treating it as a normal, that was actually pretty ballsy. I do like that a lot coming from Mandrake. I don't know if that was a whiff punish or not because I felt like that was preemptive.
I think he just did it, yeah, but he was right about it.
Absolutely, he was. That was a great time to use it in neutral to kind of bring NYC Furby a little bit closer towards him so he didn't have to do most of the work, right? So that was excellent, an excellent choice from Mandrake. I thought it was tied up, but it is one game, actually. It's one game to Mandrake.
Again, spacing is just a little bit off. Very rare that you see that from Mandrake, but we've seen it several times so far.
Oh, no. The handshake to the foot? That's stinky.
Here's the knockdown. Here's the pressure.
Again? No.
Is he looking for a viewer or something? I don't know. I would love to know.
And the fact that Arturo went for a viewer.
Yo, let's go
no.
Dawson combos. Let's go Dawson combos. Oh,
man. I love that.
Got him, though. Mandrake back in there. Did what he needed to do.
At least Arturo got a clip.
It was cool.
That was cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Dawson Roundhouse's anti-projectile frames. We'll trade, as you can see. You can just do it again.
Man, I will say that last mishap of blocking or reversaling the headbutt was a very questionable decision. I don't know. Might have just done it preemptively. Oh, I don't know, because it hit after. I can't tell anymore. Either way, to the current situation, Savage choosing aggression. Ooh.
Well.
Oh, boy. Dude.
There we go. Great damage. The situation's looking good for Mandrake. Backing off. Finding the stun and surely the game.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, charging the roundhouse. Mandrake looking absolutely clean in that round, putting himself in a very favorable position. This is the most we've seen Arturo Sanchez actually bleed and lose his side down 2 games. Mandrake has been making all the right calls so far. Got away with murder a couple of times, but for the most part, kept it clean.
Yeah, and it's his forward movement that I'm really impressed by. He's consistently finding those places to move forward. It's knee drop, it's dash, it's, tackle has been punished sometimes, but it's also been useful for him. Challenges have been very useful, too.
Yeah, you see a little bit of reluctancy from the side of NYC Furby as well in terms of catching the movement against Mandrake. A little tough now in the corner. Man, the light conversions have been pivotal for Mandrake. Don't get back thrown. Oh, don't get thrown in general.
There it is. Mandrake maybe at match point. Yes. To take a very fast, dominant 3-0.
That combo wasn't even over. There was so much damage there, or at least a little bit extra damage to go through. Yeah, EX Chariot tackle. Close the gap. Let me see that aggression. Smother Furby just a little bit into that corner. Man, what a time to teleport and keep that ambiguous. Where did he land?
So none of V-Skill 2 is lined up. Yep. Mandrake kind of neutralizes it. He's got his own, had his own V-Skill. This is a punish. Mandrake knows. Too prepared.
Forward throw now. Is he going to do it again? Okay, good contest there from NYC Furby.
Too prepared. Oh, boy. It's not quite there. And he knows that he's just a couple hits away from getting that stun. No longer.
Whew.
A punish.
Again.
A big chance.
What's even worse, now he's in the corner. Here comes the trigger. V-reversal. Yeah, but it still gets damage from it.
Dawson, it's not over yet, but so close.
Oh, my God. One touch away for NYC Furby to get eliminated, but Mandrake still has to chase him down. He has to work for it and does so successfully with the patience and contesting the drill. Very, very smart decision-making from Mandrake.
Yeah, in that situation right there, he knew that Art needed some hits, needed to make something happen. And that's possible for Dawson. He can make that happen, but he does need to find situations on ways in and sometimes still turns to do so. That was Art's intention, right? Trying to get in. Maybe it would have been Gale or Throw or something like that after the drill. But Mandrake was there in advance. He had already thought about what could come. Knew he didn't need to move backwards anymore, right? That was already a good spot. Knew he didn't need to move forwards either. I really, really like so much that we saw about Mandrake's game versus NYC Furby. Again, I love the forward movement. That was key for him, but it was also keeping awareness in situations like that. That was a big part of why he ends up taking this in dominant fashion.
3-0. 3-0. The biggest sweep, actually, that we did not see coming, just based off the numbers alone, right?
Yeah.
Mandrake moving on to face off against Idom. That is going to be quite the match as we get ready to see who will face off against Punk, the mighty Punk, in the grand finals. But of course, we do have to take a quick break to consider everything that's been going on and remind you folks at home that there are plenty of Street Fighter V tournaments that have been going on throughout the month. One of them being a part of PlayStation. Go ahead and go over to compete.playstation.com to check out all the details for the Summer Win-a-thon event going on throughout August 31st here in the U.S. as well as in Canada.
And don't forget about the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 theme song. That's right. They got a theme song. It's right there. Check it out. Pretty cool.
absolutely looking indestructible, if you ask me. A real, a real nostalgic banger.
For
and
sure,
I love it,
yeah.
to be honest with you. It's not going to be as good as the grand finals that could be happening. We still got to go through the losers finals, though, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Capcom Pro Tour.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
And then there were 4 on the Eastern Seaboard. Who is going to claim #1 in the East? My name is Vicious, back again with Ultra David. We have the losers finals established with Idom going up against Mandrake, but sitting above, nice and pretty in the throne, is Punk on the winner's side. Who is going to be the one to face off against the man who's been looking unstoppable?
That's Punk. He's looking great. Idom only lost to Punk, of course, and that was 3-2. I mean, it was in final game, but again, that last game was pretty convincing by Punk. So he is looking good. Idom versus Mandrake. Yeah, as you said, comes up next. Mandrake playing fantastically. He beat Arturo in a way that nobody else did. I mean, Art had been in losers, of course, but nobody 3-0'd him. And nobody 2-0'd him. And in fact, he had only lost 1 game in his entire very long losers run until that moment.
To Spaceboy, yeah.
To Spaceboy, the person who had sent him to the losers in the first place. So that, I mean, Mandrake, I think, is playing sick right now. It's going to be cool to watch that level of Mandrake versus Idom. They actually played in CPT Online NA East #1 last year.
Oh, yeah.
They did.
Boy.
They did. And that was actually a 3-0 in favor of Mandrake. I mean, if you recall correctly, right, Mandrake won it. And he moved on. He played fantastically in that tournament, including beating Idom. Now, they have played as well in other events. Idom typically takes the W there. But the way that Mandrake's playing right now, I don't know that you could say anybody really has the advantage on him.
We're seeing it based off of a numbers game. Mandrake has a bit of a struggle, right? He's had 3-2 performances throughout the entirety of his bracket up until that point where he fought off against Arturo Sabin. Again, as you mentioned, looking absolutely unstoppable. Not a lot of people were taking games, but this guy took it down 3-0, right? Just based off of that alone, you know he's riding a good high going into this matchup to face off against Idom, who was on the recipient of a beatdown, a very slight, very slight beatdown from Punk. So we'll see how this plays out. Oh, yeah, he was 100% ready for that thunderclap. Look at how much more activity is coming from Idom. It's a whole different beast when it comes to what in the world.
Yeah, it's a very different matchup than we saw just before. He is not at risk of getting crouching medium kicked into bonkers damage into Oki, right? So you can be a little bit more active in that range, and he is, and he's got the corner.
Sure, but he can't be harassed by metallic spheres, which has been happening, but up until this point, right? Idom now perfectly executed for that V-reversal. Again, just knows exactly. Look at the gray life and look at the party being started.
Okay. Taking the frames, Mandrake does have that resource. He's out of there. It's not quite enough. Okay, it's doable if he can find. Wow.
What?
Wow.
If he can find what now?
I mean, don't even worry about it. Wake up, jump forward, medium kick.
Whoo-wee.
Blowing up a potential grab. And now just like that, it's the same situation of Idom pressuring in the corner and Mandrake in trouble again.
This guy just stepping on the gas full force, making it sure he does not have anything to do with Mandrake. Doesn't even want to shake your hand. He's just trying to move on and get back into that fight against Punk. But Mandrake has something to say about it. A slight delay there. Manages to get a throw into the mirror. No meaty headbutt, but rather checks the low medium kick. Could have gone into another mirror had it hit, but Idom doing very well on defense. Oh, boy.
Oh, Mandrake. Amazing.
He's ready.
Just a beautiful and amazing solution at the end right there. Both of those rounds ending in fantastic fashion. And what sticks out in my mind, not just that offense, but it was when the V-trigger was activated, when Aegis was in his face, he played defense and he just blocked it out. And then as soon as down medium kick came, which he knew meant that it was his turn, he immediately pressed the 3-frame light punch. Like, as if it was just programmed in. You block this thing, block more. You block that thing, button comes out instantly. He's so prepared.
And the funny thing is, he's been doing that since we've seen him on NLVC with Laura. He's known the map since day one.
Absolutely.
And now Mandrake, we're seeing a different shade of him. Okay, does get a full conversion with a side switch, and now Idom in full control again. Despite the life deficit, this is a place Mandrake does not want to be. We'll see how he gets out. Does so successfully off of a stand medium punch.
Mandrake with the life lead. He moves beyond it. Great call. He would have loved to have sweeped it, but no, Idom's there.
Oh, you saw the startup of a command grab, but now has to face the mirror. There is the counter hit because he tried to press something on the way out from the block. Mandrake striking blood in that round against Idom.
And he got the life lead and he held onto it.
Cool.
being a little bit more active about where he's placing. Yeah, because you can see dash, although Idom's here.
Oh, EX headbutt, get off of me. What a time to bust out. Low medium kick as well. On the hunt, forward throw for Idom.
Oh, he's getting right on the wake-up timing every time right there in that sequence.
The whiff punish is there. Here comes Idom now with the rebuttal. Command grab, the first sunset wheel we've seen in a while.
Mandrake with pressure. Okay, now gotta keep in mind. I couldn't even get the words out. Idom's here.
There's the Aegis. He actually gets the throw bait. Idom actually making a huge mistake on defense. Something we haven't really seen too much, right? Most of the time, he's been immaculate when it comes to defensive decisions. Mandrake putting on that pressure to make him falter.
I'm totally with you. That game went very differently than game number 1, with Mandrake being a lot more active. His movement was a lot stronger. He took turns in a stronger way. He capitalized on offense when he got it. All of that stuff was different than before.
Oh, the big handshake coming from Mandrake. Ugh. Dashing it now. Ooh. All right. Excellent start for Idom. A little shaky for Mandrake, but still building his way towards that mirror while still maintaining, or at least keeping the life lead relatively close.
I'm just tanking this right now. Slight life lead for Mandrake as a result.
Oh, there's the V-skill I was looking for. It does happen to have trigger now, but at the cost of what sequence? Yeah, what a block!
Was it worth it?
It was absolutely worth it, David. Does get the opening. No! Nothing else afterwards. Not even a reset.
Idom seemingly just dashing up to block that, just to remove it as an option. What a wake-up choice! And the round from Idom. What a genius expectation from Idom.
The V-skill Volti line forward to go underneath the knees and get a full punish on the recovery. Madman. Only Idom, though. Now Mandrake finds himself in a very peculiar position yet again. How long can he keep Idom contained?
Not for very long, as he's backing off now. Idom knocking on the door. He finds an entry. The meaty one. He gets the link. Here he is again. Mandrake bets it, and the bet did not pay off. It's 2-1 Idom.
How much time does Idom actually have to suss that out and know full well the headbutt's coming? I don't know, man. What a read.
Yeah.
What a call out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Idom showing signs of life. I feel like Mandrake has been smothering him pretty hard, actually, up until this point. I've been so, concerned with what he's going to do on defense that I forgot what the score was. 2-1. Okay, 2-1. Great. Looking absolutely flawless. Ugh.
Mandrake taking his turn back, and however, slowly getting pushed. Oh,
grab the normal. Interruption on the V skill. Firing away with the medium kicks. It's just been a slaughterhouse so far from both players.
Really fighting on that floor right there. Both of them looking for their options. Mandrake's close. He's got trigger now. If he gets a chance, EXs have come late in rounds a few times. Idom waited for it just in case.
Here comes the mirror. The reversal again.
So now unlucky to get V-trigger, but really all Idom needs is one more hit. That's the range.
That's so...
I mean, that's the range where Mandrake had thrown fireballs and been punished by the EX before, right? So instead, sure, EX knees, but Idom had the solution to that scoped out too.
And that was way early. He already took the disguise, I think, a little bit before Mandrake. Might be wrong. Oh, again, the big bet and the stun. A lot of scaling involved, but there's going to be a reset. You already know. I lied to you all. There's the reset. Oh, again, the big bet.
They have come late in rounds.
Idom finds his ticket again, and we hear the very familiar sound of defeat.
Fair enough.
Mandrake, hey, not bad. Third place.
Not bad. That's true. He played fantastically throughout a lot of that. Idom and Punk are the two. I mean, this is the thing. These are two of the best players on Earth. We know that for the last few years that's been the case. And in seeing this bracket before it came out, and we've talked about this the last couple of days as well, these were the two favorites to make it into this grand final situation, and they have done so. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Idom, I mean, look, the way that he played versus Mandrake right there, not only all of the classically good stuff, but some very specific reads as well. Very specific understandings of what was going to come up and what Mandrake was going to do. The wake-up, jump-forward, medium kick when Mandrake may have been going for a meaty throw. Right? Instant overhead in that situation when you're in standing up. The scoping out of Mandrake not wanting to throw a fireball and instead trying to go for EX knees and so getting the neutral jump. And the looking for meaty, almost meaty, right, not quite knees, and doing V-skill dash wake up out of it into punish. Those are situations that are just not common. They just don't come up very often and in terms of how they are solved. And that's what Idom is prone to do.
Even the anticipation for some of the common stuff like reversal headbutt, the timing that he did it and still managed to block it as well has been kind of unprecedented. That's kind of, how do you even figure that out? How do you even know the timing that well? But it's no surprise to see Idom go up against Punk yet again. I'm excited for it. I wrote it down in my notes. I'm like, boom. You can't see it, but it's just like giant font. Punk has been pretty excited being into this grand finals on the winner's side, really calling out Idom to see if he's going to step up to the challenge, and it's going to be quite the challenge as he is sitting on the loser's side. Again, it's kind of, you know, beating a dead horse at this point. It's just, this is going to be what's expected. This is what we prefaced it with, the entirety of the top 16 with, and it's finally coming to fruition. Is it going to be Idom moving into the Capcom Cup, or will it be Punk? We're going to see. As it is right now, it's looking pretty advantageous for Punk, the way it went down and his current positioning, just by numbers. But we'll see if Idom has the heart to change fate.
Poison is what he goes back to again. It's what he started out last time. He went to Laura afterward. Poison didn't work out, but he's gone back to it now.
But not by much, right? It's not like it was a full-on blowout against Poison in comparison to Laura. No. I would have loved to see the Laura come out first, probably.
Well, it's the choice he's made to be caught in the corner so far by Punk already there, hanging out, and again, this positioning. Backdashing. Even when he loses control, though, it feels like he can get back in so quickly. Here's Idom trying to control this space.
Oh, big confirm. Double check from the low forward. Idom thinking he can move forward after that, despite blocking. Okay. Okay. Love meat tender, the light afterwards. Again, trigger one is the choice, the Molotov. Oh, yeah! The fake out whip cancel.
Finding it. Way too far away. And it's stunned. Idom just outside of that range. It's something he loves to do. We saw him try it in that last set, and it didn't work, and this time it does.
He's baited that out. That was actually the exact same fashion he took out Punk in the IWO in that exact sequence, baiting out the V-reversal. Hook, line, and sinker. Idom off to a fantastic start. EX% haul, what a bet to make. Not too big of a threat, I should say.
Punk's already here. However, the whiff, and there's Idom capitalizing into pressure, and now, and not only too much damage. Into Punk knows he can't take anything. Yes.
That could have been so dangerous. Punk at a huge deficit, but full critical art. Probably 2.5 sequences. He could kill.
And he knows it. He's just hunting for that one. It's not going to come up. Not in this game. 1-0 for Idom in this first set.
A lot of big decisions being made so far in that game alone, right? We saw the call out blatantly from Idom, calling out Punk's V-reversal. We've seen the deliberate callouts from Punk also after the EX heart rate just backdashing to set that pace, to set that kind of signal, or send those signals first. We'll see what is done with it here in game number 2. Idom checking pretty actively with the whips and medium kick.
What a jump timing! Here's the corner already for Punk. And the whip punish. And just like that, working on stun. Next hit, next grab, either way.
Does it again. Still committed to the throw. That could have been stun either way, so that was smart. Oh, boy. Burning up just a little bit, backing up, creating space, and the medium whip the love. Oh, Jesus, the high heel, I should say.
Harassment there. Punk not trying to be reversal this time. Yeah, here he comes.
The backdash to safety with a lot more space to work with, but we've seen Punk thread the needle before, dashing in after any sort of whips. Yep. Does it again. This time, Idom. Woo! Nice and patient. Do you see the changeup now? Idom is throwing up the heavy whip to make sure that he recovers fast enough to check Punk on his dash. It's been great for Idom now in this first round, making sure the movement doesn't get too close. It can't let you get close.
Look at the damage just like that. It's 40% gone. However, this was exactly the same start as the last round, more or less.
Oh.
And Punk doing a great job of recognizing the range that he could get the reversal. He's in for pressure. And no huge need to move in. He's got a big life lead. Oh. Slowly doing the bulldog thing, but no longer doing jumps. Yeah, I love that he just walked and blocked, put himself into a great position. It's not quite over, but so close. There it is. Really classically strong approach when you have a life lead, and you know you still got to get in against the zoner, but not taking any risks in doing so.
As well as conserving that meter. Just a little bit of extra going into it to make sure that the next opening you get deals even more damage. I do like that, but Idom, ooh-wee. A little ambiguous, not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a normal block. Heart rate time, what's the response? Little tick throw. Heart rate again. What's the response? There it is. The reversal. Not wanting to guess. Hey. I do appreciate that.
Punk reacting as per usual. With the threat of that next hit, he comes in for the grab. And here's damage. It's stun. Not quite. Not quite. Right. Yep, he's got it. Maybe. Okay, it wasn't even a combo. Well, I don't know. It wasn't actually a combo. It could have been blocked right there. Idom instead takes it, takes the loss right there, and Punk.
That was a combo. That was 2 hits.
But didn't he stun with 2 hits, and then it was short afthought? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because he came in with a jump in, he caught the counter hit. That was the stun.
Fine.
And then immediately got it. I thought it was kind of cutting it kind of close, but that's just the kind of guy Punk is. He knows the timing of when the stun dissipates.
I guess he does.
No matter how many buttons you mash. Dear God. Looking very clean so far, at least from that second game. Does find an opening yet again. Off that low forward. Confirm King. The reversal. Put him in the corner. Lock him up. Idom is stuck. The throw bait is there yet again. He's had him so many instances. How many times over? 2, 3 more? Who knows? Now mixing in the throws. It's been so tough to get this guy off of Idom. And that is all she wrote. Punk just abusing that pressure.
And that means it's match point and tournament point is at 2-1. Panda Punk.
It should be at least. Am I tripping? Now that I'm thinking about it, it is, right?
Pretty sure it is.
I like that. Chase down.
It's 1-1. How did that happen? How did I get it so wrong? I don't know. But here we got Idom in the corner. Keeping his eye on things better than me.
Oh. V-shift there, the V-break, doesn't find the mark, tries to V-shift again. The crush counter is there this time for Punk. Does have enough to at least get one opening and kill. Oh boy, but Idom is going to make him fear the whip first and making him guess after the EX heart rate. And that was great because Punk was already stuck in V-trigger. There wasn't going to be much of a defensive option. He had to sit there and take it.
The attempted whiff punish, we've seen it work before, not quite that time.
I'm glad he didn't commit to the Tenko, though.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Just within range.
He's keeping his eyes open as he moves.
Yes, sir. Big counter confirmed. Man, that is so difficult. How does he do it?
Still holding onto that screen with that gold bar.
What is the difference?
And now as Punk tries to move forward into these ranges, Idom has actually moved up a little bit and gotten crouching medium kick himself. Right? He's moving forward a little bit because he sees Punk moving forward.
Ooh.
Again, moving up a little bit. It's too far away. Not whiff punish, though. Punk in trouble. He knows he can't get touched, but he is here. There's nothing invincible on...
Oh! What was the intent there? 2 light kicks.
Okay.
Could have got EX Tenko.
Yeah.
100% could have got EX Tenko. I'm a bit surprised. I am a bit surprised. I want to check out Punk's archives. I want to see what the intent there. It had to be EX Tenko.
I mean, I would think, but that's not what came out.
Oh. Interesting.
So Punk trying to thread the needle yet again. God, that is so
he's
consistent.
so good. He
Right?
sees counter hit flash on the UI. He's like, well, I guess I'm just going to go to my counter hit combo. Amazing.
People also just do crouching jab, stand strong anyway, right?
Yeah, but come on, man.
No, it's
benefit on that one.
okay.
Come on now. A little bit of Midwest in me now.
Okay, that was sick. What a choice. As Idom plus frames again and puts himself, I'm pretty sure now, at set point.
Are you final answer?
I'm pretty sure now.
Okay. Either way, we might see some more Street Fighter here if Idom can clutch it out and reset the bracket. Again, 3 for 3, David.
You're looking at me with very intense eyes as you say that.
My eyes are always intense when it comes to Street Fighter V. Let's go. Punk now pushing Idom to the corner. The stun is there. Good amount of meter to be built as well. Not going for the reset, instead going for the knockdown.
The back and forth. Not going to get
nice
it in this
easy.
round. Yeah. Feeling the need to move forward to try to make something happen, but that's exactly when Punk pressed the button.
But going into this next round, man, the anti-air heart rate, and now the plus frame one. Oh, boy. Idom had so much meter going into it, and I expected nothing less from him to spend it almost immediately after. I still can't believe he called out Punk with the EX1 going airborne, the heavy one.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, you're getting punished.
Too close. Yeah. Punk keeps his eye on things, and I really like the approach afterward. He's still...
Oh, no!
Looking for the V reversal. Nothing came out of Punk.
Ooh. Full conversion. And a throw. The reset happens. Idom resetting the bracket entirely. 0-0 is now the score. Punk got to be feeling a little bit of sweat. A little bit of sweat now. Huge sigh of relief for Idom getting to play a full on set yet again. This is going to be pretty intense as the poison play has been working out beautifully.
Yeah, I really, really like that. And as things go on, a little bit different than how we saw before. As things were going on, I felt that Punk was getting better reads on things and that he was threading the needle better. This is in the last set that they played. And as this set goes on, I get the opposite sense that instead it's more that Idom is finding more of those moments to pressure, not pressure exactly, but to head off Punk's approach by moving forward slightly into ranges where Punk has been comfortable. And pressing stand medium kick, crouching medium kick, down jab into stand strong, that kind of stuff. Moving forward a little bit or calling out exactly when Punk wanted to move forward.
That's been a big difference, actually, in comparison to what happened into Winners Finals, where he played it a little bit more passive, let the whip do the talking, and try to force some of these chip damage scenarios against Punk, or at least, to the point where a final hit would do him in.
Nope, they're already in here.
Already into the dojo. I'm liking this from Idom, a fantastic start. You were talking about that kind of mid-range aggression rather than playing the keep-away game.
Yeah.
That's been the huge difference. Hopefully Punk can find an answer to it before he drowns into the sea of normals and whips.
It's already taken about 40%. And now with no V... Wow, okay, called it out. Knew where Punk was going yet again. Not a huge read, right? That's what people tend to do, but still impressive. Punk now with the chance for pressure. Moving along the dusty floor. Hoping to get there anyway.
And the call out, that wasn't, he deliberately waited to see what the defensive option was. And the back throw is his defensive option against Punk. Striking first blood here in the reset.
Outside of that range. And as soon as he gets in there, there's Idom. Oh no! Punk with the very rare miss, understandably wanting to just get right back in control with that EXDP.
Oh, another miss confirmed, back-to-back. Oh, that was just an air reset from Idom within range to check. That had to be a backdash that he tried to get in with. Oh, wait.
Trading meter for meter. And the range he knows. Only one time has he been caught on that.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
High heal.
Big
high damage. Big burn. The whip punish not there. The Molotov is, though. EX was heading off for the big bet. There's the activation into trigger. Back throw now. Punk trying to close the gap. EX Tenko, oh boy, reversal. Reset the situation. Idom with a huge lead and one touch gets game one in the reset.
Again, as this goes on, I get the sense of more and more control and understanding of where his opponent wants to go from Idom. And when he's making reads like that, I mean, it's not Laura where the snowballing happens like that, but he nevertheless is making these reads kind of in neutral, and he's so consistent about it.
We're seeing a faster approach from Punk already moving in.
That stand fierce range is his range. It is Poison Spy, and Punk is trying to challenge there, and he can't. We saw it in the last set they played.
Damn!
I'm telling you, he's ready.
And now, just within a sequence and a half, nearly ties it up, but still Idom a little bit comfortable playing. That was fine. You know, at the risk of that, managed to get out of the corner, back into the midstream play, doesn't get Oki. High heel coming in, the Molotov, the damage. What's going to happen afterwards? A tick throw. The trigger is still in full effect. Molotov, he's trying to bait out a V-reversal, you know it.
Yeah, getting close to super as well. If he finds the right option, and Punk knows it, it's going to be the round. Moving forward, you see what I'm talking about. Here's Idom moving in versus a very dangerous man in Punk who's cornered, caught.
Oh, this is huge. He dashed forward in his face with the tick throw. You were talking about that act and aggression. It's been working out so well and keeping Punk so off-centered. It's been keeping him guessing more often than not, and he's guessed incorrectly, David. Plus frames, back throw, more room to work with.
Yeah, that situation right there has been on Idom's side, that's for sure. Here's Punk, though, looking for big pressure. And not being too obvious about his approach. Here's offensive V-reversal. He's got a chance. There's that stand fierce range.
Oh, dashing up again. That was a little bit awkward, but Punk, man, that was also ambiguous.
Yeah, in the front. It's a tech now. Idom, fully loaded.
That could have been huge, but Punk narrowly escapes. Love Me Tender EX catches the normal, and nice and easy after the tech. That is the button of choice for Karen.
All right, Punk fighting back pretty well in that round. I liked a lot of those choices. Trying to hang out outside of the whip range. Instead, again, Idom moves forward slightly.
Oh, just caught the movement there from Idom, catching heavy punch to check Punk after that throw with the backdash, I should say, and just a plethora of heavy whips.
He's taking that heavy tax. I mean, that's how it is. Against the zoner, you got to pay to get in.
Oh, that
might have just been a punish. Yeah, that's right. But at least there's corner pressure opportunity for Punk here, who's working on super. He's very dangerous.
Back-to-back throws. He's going to have to take another one. Ooh, there it is. Yeah. Punk just chopping down at the big man.
Tried to get there on the whiff punish. It wasn't quite, but still, he's in control. Not anymore. It's Idom now. Who needs really one hit if it's the right one to take it. Punk knows he is safety first.
Watch out for that V-reversal. Idom definitely is. Oh, you thought it was on the other side?
Punk is in trouble. He's got all the resources in the world. Can he even find him, though?
Plus frames. There's going to be one V-reversal. If he does it again, oh, boy.
Oh, the fake out as Idom takes the game. It's 2-0. His pressure has been huge.
I'm telling you, Idom is playing like the big fella right now. He has just been intimidating Punk with the threat of punishing the V-reversal and mixing up the option into the throw. It's been so superb. It's so good to watch the back and forth and just the kind of options he's presenting based off of what Punk's been giving him.
And Punk, unfortunately, has had a couple of errors. Really uncharacteristic. What a call out by Idom, who thought 3 seconds in advance right there.
My goodness. Oh, again, 100%, David. He's 100%. I'm telling you, he's 100%. This guy's a robot.
Look at him moving in. Punk did have the challenge, though.
Checking again. Big.
Here we go. Punk's really got to make this one count.
Plus frames heart rate. He has to take that. What a backdash. The option from Punk going full well. There was going to be a tick throw. Oh, boy.
Ability of Idom to fight out early short to beat it as we had seen before, but Punk's right back in the driver's seat.
Ugh. Back-to-back throws. That is the tech from Idom. Good
dashing in. He wanted to get out of the corner. Oh, no, it's a big opportunity. It's a huge chance for Idom to take the round and to put himself now at tournament point.
This is where it comes down for Punk to be the clutch god. Can he mount a huge, substantial comeback against Idom, or will Idom just close it out in a 3-0 fashion. Coming in from 3-1 off the reset.
Punk, no anti. Okay, he is there, though. And again, the drop, the very uncharacteristic drop. Down fierce. He's
side switch
right
afterwards. Look at the damage. He's cooking him up. Just about even, but now this is so disadvantageous for...
Punk in big trouble.
Huge
Yeah, trouble. He's got meter. He's almost got super, but he's still got his back to the corner. Maybe most importantly, he's out of there. He's out of there.
We're going to see a back throw now. Is it going to be an activation? Because he's going to be in trouble if he has nothing to V-reversal with.
Here we go. He's got it. He walked out of it, and he's still in this thing. Again, we are seeing some very uncharacteristic errors out of Punk, but in that moment right there, in that clutch when he needed it most, it was there.
Now we're talking about the meter situation from Idom. He gets to harass with the EX heart rate as many times as he wants, so long as Punk does not have any red down below for a view reversal. But that's not going to face Punk. Look at this opening now.
Here we go. Yep, it's Punk. It's close to stun.
Don't get back thrown.
That's exactly what he got with, as Punk's here again. Very close to taking the game if he gets one more. Outside. Oh, as it's moving on through, Punk is still in this thing. It's 2-1. It was him that time who moved forward when Poison didn't expect it, right? That's mostly the opposite of what we've been seeing. We've been seeing Idom move forward when Punk didn't expect it. There, it was Punk turning the tables and staying alive.
And we saw the call out too. We saw the options that Punk wanted to go for at that round. We saw the heavy heart rate to call him out first, right? So Idom could have been the one to easily start that round, but that wasn't the case. Punk making the full recovery and going back into that sequence of just locking down Idom into the corner, forcing him to guess incorrectly time after time, and just threatening between throw and the frame trap.
So now it's 2-1 in favor of Idom, and he has gone back to character select. And I am reminded of when they played at Capcom Cup Finals when there was a similar switch in a situation where many of us were like, why are you doing that? But he was right, and that may be it now, as he may be going to character select to switch into Laura. That's what he tried last time, and to be fair, he did take a game. He did take a game when they played in that winner's finals, and that's all he needs to do right now is take a single game, and he will be qualified for Capcom Cup.
I'm so antsy, David. I'm telling you what, man, I'm about to flip this table. You guys are tuning in to some of the best Street Fighter, not even just for North America, but in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt, Punk the God, Idom, down here in game number 4. Idom in the lead currently does make the switch into Laura with a 1-game advantage. Whew!
Cooling it down here in the rain. As we saw when they played last time, there's a lot of this mid-range right here, about third screen, where Punk can be so scary, and Idom knows it. But if Idom ever gets going, you know it can be a different story. So Idom hangs out in that spot and looks to snipe.
And look at the patience. Again, Idom is forced to kind of play this game of reacting to normals to find his way in, because Laura cannot contest against the buttons that Karen possesses in the neutral.
I don't think we saw a command grab last time. So Idom's right back in. Early on, unfortunately.
So the 2 early, trying to get that meaty.
So Punk gets his activation first, and he finds the hit, and it's enough.
More often than not, Punk has caught Idom with that throw bait. I will say there has been deliberate times where Idom would late tech, but these have been a little bit earlier than what we're used to.
Idom gets the approach, pushes into the grass.
Are we going to see a jump out option anytime soon, or will Idom continue this pressure? Is Punk just going to sit here and take it?
A little bit off. No whiff punish. Again, kind of uncharacteristically.
Oh,
here it is,
man. You were talking about how much he likes the Bulldog. The fact that he moved himself out of the corner in that fashion, and again now pushing Idom to the corner. Man, this guy's ridiculous.
Great block. Really keeping his eyes on things. Punk again has full resources here. Part of it's outside, blocked correctly, but Idom now has his own V-trigger. He chases it down.
And the EX% Hall, the big bet again.
Okay.
In and out of that range. Punk was in full control. He's already made a statement once against Idom's Laura. He said it wasn't enough. Try again Will Idom actually stick with it?
I don't know. What an interesting headspace to be in now, where you were up 2-0 in Grand Finals second set with a certain character. We're listening in to see if there's going to be the character select. There's
He's
not!
going back into the Laura pick!
Okay. It's going to be the very final game of CPT NA East #1 between the two best players.
Oh, this could have been an interruption, but I get it. Again, after that Fierce, you don't want to contest that Orochi. You could get big damage. Another counter hit conversion from Idom.
Idom there first. Pressure's mounting. EX command grab. He gets to stab in. Try it at least. No, Punk's out of there.
Big whiff punish from the side of Punk, now moving towards the corner. Catches the meaty, full conversion, but no damage.
Idom has the V-meter. He's going to come into it.
Oh!
No! And Punk's got to make him pay. He does a great job of it. It's all the way to the corner. Grab or hit for the round.
Any touch will do it for Punk, and he's
he
opting to go for the medium kick.
Just
nice and safe.
Oh, okay, again, it's the same option, and now Punk has battled back from being down 0-2 to put himself at tournament point. He's close. He finds the hit yet again. He's been opening up Idom. He's got the corner. Idom in trouble trying to hide in the reads. No, Punk's out.
Oh. What a stop to a preemptive crouch medium punch to kind of counter the movement here against Idom. Punk has been looking superb, absolutely stellar. Just a touch and a half, and he's going to find his way into Capcom Cup. Does Idom have anything to say about it? The trigger is loaded. Is he going to get this going?
Blocked it out. There is one more view reversal if it can come into play. There it is. They're both gone. Now Idom gets the party. Plus frames are here. Command grab again. If he can find the right hit, that's the question. Punk's here. Is that going to do it? Does he find it? He does. Punk takes CPT NA East and qualifies for Capcom Cup in the last game of the second set of Grand Finals. What a set between these two.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely
Fantastic.
speechless. I had to hold my breath.
What a comeback.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. When we saw that Laura, we were kind of nervous, a little nervous, but Punk has already exclaimed the kind of confidence against that matchup and against Idom specifically. He was saying to himself, you better keep it to that poison because right now I have downloaded your Laura. There's nothing you can do about it. So you're thinking to yourself as a spectator and even as a commentator, it's like, man, what just happened? Why was Laura the pick there?
You got to think that that was something that he's thought about in advance. Again, it reminds me of what happened at Capcom Cup Finals when Idom actually did win. He had a change like that, and it worked. And this time it didn't. And look, he had the opportunity to go back into Poison if he had wanted to. He was up 2-0. He had a couple of games to play with. That wasn't his choice. I mean, it's hard to question it too much without having him here to talk to, but I agree. I mean, things looked good with Poison. He was up 2-1 with that character.
Got a full-on reset 3-1. You see that right there, man. It could have gone either way. I personally didn't expect the reset because of the kind of confidence that Punk has usually when going into a grand final set. It's like a whole different demeanor, but I mean, it's not a huge surprise if Idom gets the reset. But the way it went down like this.
Fantastic stuff. Shout outs to Punk again. Qualifies for Capcom Cup. We thought it was going to be between these two, right? When you saw the bracket on opposite sides of things, knew that it really could be winners finals between them. And I think that was many of our expectations. And that's what happened. And that was a great set. That was 3-2. That grand finals, fantastic 3-1, 3-2. Just a few of the best sets that I've seen of Street Fighter in a long time. Shout out to both those
overall,
players.
I think that's just the kind of caliber East Coast players have. Like, that's the kind of expectations we should have with the East Coast players. These guys have been top-notch, killing it every single event, every single week. And you guys can catch even more of that with the events that have been going on throughout the entire month up until August 31st, right? We have compete.playstation.com to go to for their PlayStation Tournaments Open Series Summer Win-a-thon. Again, be sure to hit that website below to figure out more information and what other games you could participate in, including Street Fighter V. It's such a great time to get back into it and just be a part of the community in general because we get to experience some of the hypest moments
As you just saw, no doubt about that. Also, please check out Capcom's authorized mobile game, Street Fighter Duel. It's available now for download in China, and for everybody else, it will be soon. You can follow Ryu, Chun-Li, and others to explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters, and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Counter, stun, combo, super, an impressive array of fighting elements and the innovative multiplayer combos offer you a new battle experience challenging your strategy and control. A variety of PvP gameplay and tournaments with in-game rewards will definitely inspire you to fight. The Arcade Legends Reborn on the mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter.
And as it stands right now, Punk is indeed the best fighter in the East. Moving on into the Capcom Cup. When we return from this break, we're going to break down what just happened in the top 8. Again, if you missed it, well, we highly encourage you guys to check the VOD out. But we do have the winner interview shortly after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the CPT.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
You shouldn't only admire my words, but also concentrate a little more on your lessons, Mandrake.
You must be careful. Messy water. Soul satellite! Satellite!
What's the meaning of fate? You shall know. You should try to learn to use your power a little better.
in the wake of one of the hypest grand finals that I've seen in Street Fighter V in a while. We are back now to recap the top 8 that we saw at CPT NA East #1, Ultra David with Vicious. And I mean, really, it was a fantastic grand finals. The comeback that was required of Punk, who was down 0-2 in the second set, he had to make that not only 3-0, but also he was down a round in that game.
That is true.
From Idom, who was at tournament point. So that was a complete comeback required by Punk, and he did it.
Even outside of that grand finals, we're looking at such a stellar performance from the East Coast all across the board in the top 8, right? We saw an impressive bout between Spaceboy and Punk. It could have been a whole different timeline.
That's right.
We could have seen a different side of winners finals, but that wasn't the case as Punk clutched it out. But very impressive play from Spaceboy. Eyedrop versus Idom. Now, we didn't get to see too much from Eyedrop, but boy, did he show up to play in the loser's side, as you can see towards that quarterfinals, right? But just overall, the presence of some of these players in round 1, it's been very dominant. Mandrake showing up in a 3-2 performance against Shine, where it's been quite the opposite. I don't know how often it's been back and forth, but either way, Mandrake has made it very, very close throughout. And then, of course, the route that NYC Furby has taken, Young Art has just been a massacre through and through. A ton of bodies left behind. The only person to really make him bleed was Spaceboy at first.
Yeah.
Then at the end, Mandrake just cleaning it up 3-0. Can't forget what we saw up above, too, in the winners finals, right?
That was a great set, that 3-2. Very, very close in the first 4 games. That last game, to be honest, was pretty strongly Punk's. And in going into that grand finals, I was wondering if maybe we would see a continuation of that. Again, we did not. It was reset by Idom in that first set there. Yeah, really, really fun winners side. I think for me and losers side, what really sticks out is Mandrake's run. You know, he had very close matches each time, except for Art. But shout outs to Art.
Which is wild.
Because again, Art had lost first round in tournament to Spaceboy, and then had battled back in a really long, super impressive losers run where he had only lost 1 game to Spaceboy. So Art was coming into that on fire, but Mandrake put an end to that. Yeah, his runs, not just in top 8, but in top 16, each match he played was 2-1, or it was 3-2, 3-2, finally 3-0 versus Art, and then lost ultimately to Idom. But that top 3 performance, I was really impressed by. I'm happy to see Kami up here. I'm happy to see Spaceboy up here, Shine up here. These are players that have been very strong for a while, some of them for years, and I'm rooting for them each time to get that big W. And you know it's going to happen based on just how talented each of them is.
And we gave a little bit of a shout out to the top 16 in general. I do want to give some honorable mentions as well. Metro M and Flux Wave Z. First of all, these 2 cats have been on the rise for quite some time in the East Coast. I think the credit should be given where it's due. These guys have been improving exponentially, and I cannot emphasize that enough. And also seeing some of the new cats come to play. I haven't seen Delta Red as often. Jip the Boss, that's for sure. Z's Nuts, who's seen those? Lauzanoko as well. I have not really got to see that guild be that explosive yet. So good call from the top 16, just in general. Overall, very impressed with the East Coast as they continue to dominate.
All right, well, the winner was, again, Panda Punk. And we are going to bring Punk on now for the winner's interview. What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How
hey,
you doing? Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Congratulations. So we heard that you went back up from Florida to Philadelphia to compete at this. Are you hanging out with your family?
Yeah, my family, my mom and brothers and stuff, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool. Talk to me about how, or whether even, you feel like being there, not just for the connection, but for family as well, may have had an impact on how well you did.
Yeah, I mean, everyone helped me, you know, my stream, my mom, my girlfriend, brothers, everyone, you know, it feels good to be home. You know, it just all helped me win because, you know, I have all the support coming from everyone, no matter win or lose, you know, so, you know, it all helps you in the end.
Oh, you're gonna get me emotional, man. When it comes to the family power up, the family power up is something that really pulls through it. It's a whole different kind of feeling. Now, speaking of different feelings, the way that you traversed past the initial obstacle of winners final, then that really critical blow going into the reset, right? You were pretty much down at that last second in the reset, 2 games down, even like 2 games in a round. what was the mentality afterwards? Like, what was going on through your mind in those final moments against Idom?
You know, everyone that I play when they're watching me, and it's actually like the very last round is actually when I feel the best. I don't know why, but when I'm very at the last, like, I mean, it was the last round for me. I was down. I was getting washed. It was like 5 games in a row last round. And like, I just felt extremely confident, and I started to understand his game plan at the very last round. I'm like, okay, I know what he's doing, so I'm gonna just, you know, play my game, because I know when it's the last match, I ain't got nothing else to lose at that point. So like, there's no nerves anymore. I'm just chilling. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do whatever happens at this point. I'm getting washed, so I'm gonna try my best and win this. And you know, that's what I did, and I got the W.
Can I sneak in one more thing? Actually? Of course. So we saw you force the poison pick off of Idom, right? Immediately after you got that clutch round to give yourself another game, and you went to Laura. What was it like a huge sigh of relief when you saw it? Because I
knew it was going to be free from there on out. I knew it was over. I'm like, oh, I'm in his head. He don't want to play poison, bro. It's a 7-3 matchup. Just stick to the matchup, bro. I don't know why he switched. He just wants to random me out with 1 game Laura. I understand his mentality. I know what he's thinking. Like, oh, I'll activate V trigger and I'll win. But he didn't really get to activate V trigger, and he didn't win. So therefore, his switch was just useless.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I mean, I was hoping to hear you talk about it a little bit. I'd like to talk primarily about you, but when it comes to Idom, what do you think about that choice? What do you think provoked that from him?
No, he does it all the time. If he goes up 2 games, he wants to random me out with 1 game. I know he doesn't want to outplay me anymore. Idom doesn't like playing neutral. He play poison, but don't get it twisted. He hates playing neutral. He just wants to V trigger all his opponents, and that's what he does most of the time. But I'm very good against Laura and not getting randomed out, so I just don't know why he would actually pick that character. He did it in winners finals also. He went to the 1 game Laura. He just, I don't know, he loves the 1 game Laura. I don't really know why. You gotta ask him. My only guess is he wants to random me out 1 game. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me.
So you're qualified for Capcom Cup, and you know that that's going to be a list of killers, right? There's going to be fantastic players from all over the world when it comes to that. Do you have any thoughts about how you are going to prepare for that kind of extremely talent-dense tournament again?
Nah, I'm going to just play Guilty Gear.
You're doing all right in that game, so okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Capcom. There's no reason for me to play this game anymore. I don't like the lag, so I'm not going to force myself to play. I love the game.
Yeah.
The game is amazing, but the online is just not good, and it just tilts me to, I'm sure y'all know, I'm sure everyone sees my tweets all the time, so online tilts me to no end. So I'ma just, you know, just keep my mentality safe. I don't really need to practice. I think I'm pretty good when I don't practice. I just need like 20 minutes on the game and I get everything back. So I'ma just, you know, just keep playing Guilty Gear, and I'ma just hopefully I can enter the next CPT also, so then I could play from Florida and I could be the laggy person. So I'm hoping I can enter the next CPT also. You know, I want to gatekeep everyone.
I know it's not your favorite to play online. I totally get it, but you did do really well in it today.
Absolutely.
So congrats again.
You know, that's why I came to Philly, because there's no lag here. Because Florida's connection is
terrible.
That
was actually probably the best decision. It was like, you know, I got to get out of here and move on to the best advantageous position. We were talking about that earlier. I'm like, he actually made the road trip up. That was pretty smart.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, if I'm gonna play in CPT, I might as well do it in Philadelphia where the connection is good at. So
that makes sense.
That's where I decided to do it, and you know, the connection was good. But you know the funny story, I brought my laptop here to play on it, and I left my charger in Florida.
No,
I have a Razer laptop, so only Razer makes their chargers, so I had to actually buy a new laptop here.
That is mad expensive too. I
actually am playing on a new laptop, and it's not very good. I get a lot of random slowdowns, so I'm not even sure how I won today, because half the time the match is just slowing down on a PC, but it's not CFN, it's just on my side.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate I left my charger at home, so I had to buy a new laptop. But I'm actually going to return this. I'm not keeping. I want my money back. So.
You gotta make sure you sign it before you give it back.
Yeah,
I think it would increase in value.
Good job. I mean, nice job battling back, not just in the game when you were down in the set versus Idom, but also battling back from that situation too in real life. Congrats again, dude. Good luck in Capcom Cup when it comes to that.
Thank you.
All right, see you, dudes.
See you.
All right. So again, congrats to Punk for taking it.
what a chain of events, right? He had
Yeah.
to get out of Florida, finds out he didn't have his charger, had to get a completely new laptop, and still managed to clutch it out.
Nice work. Nice
Ridiculous
work.
kid.
Again, qualifies for Capcom Cup. He was one of the favorites to do so, and he did it. Made good on that. Nice work.
Overall impressive play, even outside of the game itself. This guy is a phenomenal player, easily one of the best in the world, without a doubt, right? It's just now, are we going to see him shine above the rest of the greats that are already incepted into Capcom Cup? Will he get one under his belt? We'll see sooner rather than later, as we have plenty more Capcom Pro Tour events coming up. Not too long from now, actually.
In fact, next weekend, we're going to have France, Spain, and Portugal, #1. It's going to be July 31st and August 1st. That will be starting the pre-show at 7:30 a.m. our time here on the Pacific coast of North America. Please check your local time. Join up for that. Registration closes soon. In fact, tomorrow. So get in while you can.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to broadcast this. I know we are the West Coasters, but man, it is such an honor and a privilege to be able to cast and commentate these games for you guys. I hope we did it justice, because this was some of the best Street Fighter I've ever seen. You know, this is the most talented region, at least for North America, from my personal opinion, and I'm very excited to see the growth of it even further at local events. So it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for having us.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.